There's no better way to kick off Halloween weekend
And celebrate my birthday
than with a live show in our hometown of Dallas, Texas.
For one night only, on October 27th, we're presenting a special live show at the iconic Texas Theater in Dallas, Texas. It's our last Sinisterhood live show of 2022, so don't miss it.
If you can't make it to Dallas, you'll still be able to join in on all the creepy fun by purchasing a virtual ticket. More information about virtual tickets will be coming soon.
All other tickets are available now and can be purchased at sinisterhood.com/live shows. See you on October 27th. The beautiful green goddess that guards the shores of the Big Apple has been a symbol of freedom and a beloved icon since her debut. But the island she stands on wasn't always fit for a pedestal. Legend has it, she's hiding a treasure worth millions beneath her foundation, leading pirates, soldiers, treasure hunters, and even ghosts to crowd her shores. This week's episode is The Liberty Island Treasure. Bump in the night, your heart fills with dread. Probably a murderer who wants you dead. It could be a ghost, a demon, or worse. Perhaps you're the victim of a witch's curse. It's hopeless, you're doomed. You'd call a priest if you could. You'd rather just listen to Sinisterhood. What a fun show this was.
The city's so nice, they named it twice.
That's what they say.
That
the
is
Big
what they
Kahuna.
say.
Nope, the Big Apple.
The Big Apple. The Big
the
Kahuna,
biggest.
separate thing.
It's the biggest apple I've ever seen. Sadly, we were only in New York for about 24 hours, but I like to think we made the most of it.
I think we did.
Yeah, we had some New York pizza.
We had some New York pizza. Christy had some New Jersey edibles.
Same.
And decided that despite everybody else in the room, Leanne, Tommy, Heather, telling me, you do not need your own 18-inch pizza. I said, no, y'all don't understand. Yes, I do. Are you sure you don't want a personal pizza? No, I don't want a personal pizza. I need 18 inches. Then it arrived.
Y'all, this pizza box was so big, I fell over. I was trying to walk past it in the hotel room, and I bounced off of it and toppled. And Christy goes, what did you fall on? I said, I tripped on your pizza. It was up on the desk of the hotel.
It was so big. It was so big. And it got a couple pieces eaten. Definitely not 18 inches worth. I should have gone with the personal one. I should have listened to everybody. But I'm very headstrong. And my eyes were bigger than my stomach. But all that to say, we went to a nice dispensary in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. You tried to go there again, I believe, and couldn't get in because Mike Tyson was doing a personal thing.
I know. When I was in New Jersey last, Mike Tyson sells edibles shaped like an ear with a bite out of it. And I really wanted to not get I was willing to get anything, but then he was there in person, I guess, signing the packs. I don't know. But it caused such a ruckus and a hubbub. I couldn't even get in to get anything. It was, so Mike Tyson really screwed me that weekend.
Wow. Well, what a time to be alive for that sentence to come out of your mouth.
I love you all who are listening. And for that reason, I offer you the unedited story that you will hear, and I'm not going to spoil it or give you anything about it here in this intro, about my call to poison control.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, this is the episode where you did not know. I waited to tell you on the air, and it's mortifying.
No, you can't. You told us that night.
Did I? I told you. That's true.
You disappeared for like a half hour, and everyone was like, "Where's Heather?"
Yes.
And then you came back and dropped a ball on us.
Y'all will hear the story.
We were like, "What have you been doing?"
You'll hear the story. There's some deets in that. We also go into a lot of pirate stuff. We talk a lot about Our Flag Means Death, which you have since watched.
I have. I finished, and it's fantastic. I love it. I can't wait for season 2. It's such a unique and just warm, funny pulls at your heartstrings, but also very progressive and new and unique. I loved it for sure.
I love Taika Waititi is so fine.
Oh, whoa,
And just it's just rude how talented he is. And then like how nice he is. Like, fuck you. So I'm just kidding. I love him so much. But like one person is that wonderful.
If you look that hot as a dirty pirate, damn,
You're
I'm
hot.
here for it. I'm here
You're
for
just
it.
hot. Also, Reese Darby is very funny. So we have a lot of pirate refs.
Yes.
A lot of as a Southern child, I just was like New York City, where they yell at you for the pecani sauce, and also the Ghostbusters. We have a lot of Ghostbusters references because
Your
that's like
discussion of how when you first went to New York because of the contest you won in Dallas. That's in this. There's a lot of behind the scenes. Pull back the curtains into our personal lives, and you'll start to put the pieces together. Okay. I see how they got. This all makes a little more sense when you get a little more information about us.
What does Elaine always say? And another piece of the puzzle falls into place.
Exactly.
When I tell about what I did to my Babe, a Pig in the City toy, and the groans from the audience. It's great. Can't wait for you to hear it.
I'm shaking my head. I like when we do these recaps because so much of what we discuss, unfortunately, I just can't retain because there's so many shows. But now when you're saying these things, I'm like, oh, yes, all this is coming back up. So it's fun to listen back to the live shows for us because we forget that we had all these fun jokes and stories and the grievances, if I recall, were very good in this one.
Oh, these grievances.
There was one in particular.
We get into a whole thing about Lost. There's also another one where there's one whole side of the story, and then the other party is in the audience and then gives their whole side of the story. It's like
husband and wife.
Yes, it's like an argument, like a full-on debate. It's fantastic. This was New York City brought it. Y'all
crowd, not really divided. The crowd was pretty unanimous on who was right with that.
Which was funny because the crowd was, it's just like flip-flop, because what facts come out. It's fantastic. I am very stoked for you all to hear this and just relive, like you said, relive the fun. And I think that's the magic of all of our shows is that our jokes are all improvised. And so if we don't record them, then we lose them forever. And
that's true.
Yeah.
And
so we have a recording though.
Memory I have. I'm going to go back and listen starting at episode 13 and just be like, I forgot this happened in my life. I often do think about that though. They're like, one day Ella and Simon will have all of these things if they want to listen to. Ella's currently listening to a podcast for children. And I said, this is what mommy does. And she knows, but I said, maybe one day you can listen to one of them.
Right.
And by one day, I mean many years away.
When you're 35 and you have a very good therapist that you have a great relationship with.
Yeah. She's going to hear a lot of stories about me. So, I might have to do a playlist for her of just
didn't you say you didn't have a baby book or you wanted to have a baby book, but there's so many stories that you tell about them on here that I think it's better than any, and it's your actual voice instead of just written down.
Book.
This is your legacy. What'd you say? It's your legacy episode 13 is your legacy.
Oh, that is my
one.
legacy. Yeah.
But this is I don't know if the treasure's there or not. If you have metal detectors and you live in New York, which someone was like, by the way, the Statue of Liberty's in New Jersey. Yeah, okay. But it's in all the pictures of New York, so whatever. Also, water. Tell me about how water boundaries work. It moves, man.
Yeah, water moves. So how do the boundaries not?
How those lines stand? They're not. How about that? So, that's just me defending my ignorance. It's fine.
Well, the Statue of Liberty is very iconic with New York. So I think that we did a good job picking this topic. And I really liked it because it incorporated kind of everything. History, spookiness, paranormal, true crime. So
murder.
You got murder. You got it all.
You got it all. The thirst for the greed will drive men wild. And that is what, even if the driving them wild is just fucking around on, just tricking people. That's also part of it. So you'll love it. We loved it. And
we loved City Winery. What a great space, too.
Man.
May I just say,
Pier.
Best green room food we've had.
I mean, 50 out of 10, that food
It was, we got this charcuterie board that was epic.
Out of this world.
Everyone that walked into the green room was like, oh my gosh, what is this? We're like, I know. It was was so good. They had us bottles of wine from their winery that we got to try. And then the whole space is just really pretty and cool. Mm-hmm. It's very intimate, but still seats a lot of people. Our agents came, which was amazing. A lot of fun, to see them. So, it was a super fun show. We had to leave the next day to go to Philly, so we weren't there for long. But we always love New York, and we would love to go back when it's a little cooler.
Yeah, we'll be back in New York. We weren't there for a long time, but we were there for a good time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cheers! Oh, this is
Cheers
fantastic.
To water.
This is fantastic.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Leanne said they don't have bottles. Are you okay with glasses? And we did not know that's what this meant.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We will not go thirsty this evening.
That's
How's everybody
fantastic.
doing? Yes, hello over here.
We're very excited to be here. We had some of the fanciest food we've had in the green room. This place is swank, and you get wine. It is such a great vibe. We love the purple. Give it up for City Winery tonight.
Give it up for City Winery.
And all your fantastic servers taking care of you. We've been in New York for a New York minute. No, but we got in, what time, at 2, we said?
Yeah.
Ate at the Applejack Diner.
Yeah. Anybody? Nope. Nobody.
It said on the internet, on their own website, known as a diner to the stars. And I was like, you wrote that, though, on your own site. But there were, they had a lot of headshots with famous people signed them. So
we were not asked to provide one.
No, that was rude.
That's fine. We almost saw a celebrity. We don't know who, but we saw paparazzi and a security guard
with an earpiece in.
Then our Uber left, had to move, so we didn't get to see who it was.
I was like, just run on the window and be like, who are y'all waiting for? They have to tell you if you ask.
No, but it's been fun. It's been a whirlwind. We leave tomorrow for Philly, so we're only inside of you for a minute, New York. But we'll make it count.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
You'll feel it. You'll feel that we were here.
Yes.
For sure.
Round of applause for the Statue of Liberty. Let's just give it up for her.
She saved New York in the end of Ghostbusters, too. Mm-hmm. I think we can give the due respect that she deserves. She danced to a remix of a Jackie Wilson song, which they played earlier. I love Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 and the new Ghostbusters. I'm real into Ghostbusters.
Heather loves the Ghostbusters. You almost had the Ghostbusters car as your getaway car. That's not what they're called at a wedding.
Yeah.
Is it a getaway car?
Getting out of there. We were going to set fire to the theater.
At any second. You can just get right out of there. But alas, you were unable to.
No. I couldn't secure it.
Yeah.
Couldn't secure Ecto 1. But we met a real Ghostbuster when we were in Michigan.
We did.
We're going back and we're joining up. I am joining the Ghostbusters. Well, there's a lot of ghosts in this subject today. Mm-hmm. Have you been to the Statue of Liberty?
I haven't. I've seen it.
You've seen it from afar. I went.
So it's the same thing. I've seen it from afar.
Well, today, as we were driving, I was like, I'm going to read reviews of the Statue of Liberty. And one of them was like, it's better from the boat. And I was like, oh, okay. And another one was like, too many stairs. I was like, all right, fair enough.
She's 150 feet tall, so yeah, it takes a minute.
And then someone else said, people at the top spat down on us.
Wow.
All right, fair enough. Hey, what do you expect? Come on. I went when I was a kid, though, when I won the Kid Craddock in the Morning Show Most Annoying Kid in Dallas contest. And I won a trip to New York.
If you're not from Dallas, which you're probably not, since we're not in that city, Heather won a contest from a very famous local radio station, and she was deemed the most annoying kid in Dallas.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of kids in Dallas, so it's quite a feat.
So many.
And she got a paid-for vacation to come to the Big Apple.
Yes, we got to sleep over. Yes, woo. It was an awesome trip. We got to sleep over at FAO Schwartz.
That's every kid's dream. Yes, gasp, gasp. It's very cool.
And I got a $150 shopping spree that I blew on a Furby and a Game Boy Color.
Nice.
So, yeah, well worth it. And we got to stay in the plaza, which is very fancy.
This is fancy.
It was a good trip. So that was the whole bit. It was a promotional thing for Babe, a Pig in the City. Babe 2, a Pig in the City.
I love Babe.
I also got a pig doll with a red paw and a green paw, and it would go, do you love me? And if you put yes, the green paw, it would go, I love you too. And if you push the no paw, it would go, oh.
No!
Dude,
Why was this made?
Dude, Babe, the Babe doll was built for rejection. It would go, I'm hungry, will you feed me? And if you said no, it would go, oh.
No!
Yeah,
the red paw, and they're called hooves.
That's my bad.
But the red hoof shouldn't
It
exist.
shouldn't exist.
Oh, babe.
Or if it does exist, let it ask questions that can only be answered with no.
Yeah.
Because, that was, do you love me? Will you hold me? Can you feed me? Yeah, it was awful.
Oh,
Yeah, but the whole
my
bit was
heart.
they let all these radio stations across the country send whatever kid they wanted to send, and Kid Craddock thought it would be a really fun bit to send the worst kid to be so obnoxious.
That is a fun bit.
Yeah, it was a great bit because all the other kids was like a random drawing, and he was like, "Not in my town."
What did you have to do to earn this title?
I just talked to them for several minutes, which did it. I was in 6th grade at the time, and
Any 6th grader talking is obnoxious.
by far.
I'm gonna take a swig of Aquapana. This isn't sponsored by them, but it should be
The
because we're gonna be talking
smoothest
about
taste in Toscana. No, they asked me to sing my favorite song, which at the time was "One Week" by Bare Naked Ladies, and I sang it. I talked really fast.
Obnoxious song too.
Obnoxious
no wonder.
kid singing an obnoxious song, and then put my mom on the phone, and the DJ is like, "Well, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree."
Your mom got on?
Yeah,
Nancy?
oh, yeah. They were like, "Give the phone to your mom." And they were
Oh,
like,
Nancy won you that trip.
dude,
Let's be honest.
She did. We had a tape of that somewhere. It's out there somewhere. But that's why we came to New York. We did like the whole double-decker bus cheesy tour. I mean, I was in 6th grade, so after the FAO Schwartz. But yeah, they put the trashiest people from Mesquite in the plaza where there's like violinists playing over a tea service. And I was like, I have on my Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt and my little gym shoes. Like, I'm going to FAO Schwartz. Yeah, it was great. It was great. So,
Oh, if little Heather had only known then.
if I only knew then what I know now.
Not a ton has changed, but you are older.
I am older, taller.
But she wanted to buy some Margaritaville Crocs yesterday that we had to talk her out
I
of.
did. I want them so bad. Want them so
Whatever
bad.
you're picturing, I promise you it's worse. Like, significantly more worse than what you're imagining.
Teal green. The little cubes, there's ice cubes as charms. There was a parrot that was a bottle opener as a charm. There was a salt shaker that said
Full-size salt shaker.
salt shaker that said my lost shaker of salt. And I was like, I gotta buy these and wear them around. And Christy's like, don't do it. She goes, where else are you going to wear those? And I was like, it would be such a good bit, but it was $65.
It's like it's a $65 bit, which
I didn't do it. I regret
Yeah,
it. I'll find them in a garage sale someday, I'm sure.
they were a heavy shoe. There was too much shit on them. You just be kicking things around. You're trying to walk.
There's a lot of shit on those shoes. Yeah, it was a fun. We've had a good run so far, but I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be doing this subject because I'm real into pirates right now. Maybe 6th grade teenage Heather on those years, I was very into pirates. I had pirate T-shirts. I had
Just pirates
I was so
or
in-
specific pirates?
I liked them all, baby. But now I'm extra into pirates because how many of y'all have watched Our Flag Means Death? Woo! You are sleeping on a hit, people. HBO Max is so good. So it's a pirate show, and it's fantastic. So I was very excited when we chose this because there's pirate tie-ins.
There's a lot of pirate tie-ins. We were just in Boston. A lot of pirate shit there too that I'm sure you know about. Yeah, it's I can't say I've ever been into pirates, but I've never been out of them either. I've been kind of indifferent.
You're pirate neutral.
I'm pirate neutral. But I like this kid fellow.
Oh, yeah.
Kid Craddock.
Kid Craddock.
Captain Kid. It's all come
He's
full
with us.
circle.
He's with us.
You know who else has been? Whitney Houston's also been with us this leg of the tour. What a weird sentence to say, but it's true. She's been guiding us.
Everywhere we go, we hear Whitney Houston, so we feel like she's watching over us.
Mm-hmm. And then today I saw a Whitney billboard.
Yeah,
That
it's
just
all
said
full
Whitney,
circle.
So, yeah. Well, you ever wish you could just take back the last minute of everything you said?
Sometimes.
That's how I feel right now. Well, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So I'm Christy.
I'm Heather.
And let's get into it. Woohoo! Once called
Something that everyone in this town can get behind. A symbol. Something that appeals to the best in each and every one of us. Something good. Something decent. Something pure.
by a ragtag group of Ghostbusters. Lady Liberty has stood guard in New York's harbor since her debut in 1886. Under those giant green sandaled feet could possibly lie millions of dollars in treasure for one of the most famous pirates in history. But given the violent way the treasure was obtained and the unfair nature of his end, many say the treasure is cursed and guarded by his ghost.
If I'm not mistaken, they propped up the Statue of Liberty October 28th, 1886.
Your birthday.
100 years later.
Born in Scotland around 1645, William Kidd began his days on the high seas at an early age. By 1689, his career as a privateer was in full swing. Under his command, his crew would conduct raids of enemy ships on behalf of the British government. It was essentially state-sanctioned piracy. He did well for a while, eventually owning land in New York City, including large swaths of Pearl, Pine, Walnut, and Wall Street. According to the New York Times,
he lived on Wall Street, a Turkish carpet on his parlor floor, casks of Madeira in his cellar.
He married a wealthy widow and helped raise 2 daughters.
So they were, and the wealthy widow is really how he got a lot of this money. And yeah, they have these all of these tracts of extremely expensive land, but the sea was calling him.
Yeah, he couldn't get away from the sea. Everyone knows him as a pirate, but really he spent most of his time doing non-pirate stuff.
And he would always be like, I'm not a pirate, though. It sounds a lot, throughout we'll see his story, a lot of stuff he kind of falls into where he's like, I'll do the privateering part. A lot of times that was just like a piece of paper away from full-blown piracy. So he's like, but there's the paper, though. Like, I'm not a pirate, though. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't have the hat on.
Well, if your government's telling you to do it,
well, then they're like, it is legal. And you're like, oh, well, I guess it's legal. Thanks, England.
Not finding enough in that life, he set sail for England looking for more financiers for his next privateering mission. He was granted a commission and the support of wealthy backers. He stopped in Boston to round up a crew. Unlike other pirates, Kidd had the peculiar habit of swearing his men into service upon a Bible. After the newfound pirates had taken their oath, Kidd and his crew set sail, headed for the Caribbean.
In a book that I bought while we were in Salem about pirates, they were saying that when he had previously sailed, he had a pretty trained crew, and then he just showed up in Boston and was like, who wants to do pirate stuff with me? And you might be shocked to learn that all the Bostonians that jumped on the ship were like, yeah, well, I mean, we're not going to listen to you, but yeah, we'll do it. So he had a bit of an unruly
We learned
crew.
They're called massholes.
Massholes. They said that proudly.
They said that proudly as if it was a term of endearment.
A big boat of massholes. And then they said it was after this ship that so many of them refused to swear and that he just buried the Bible in the sand and was like, fuck it. It's fine. It's fine.
Initially, Kidd was instructed to seize only French ships, but ended up seizing none. Some speculate he had grown weary of the pirate's life. At the same time, the crew of his ship, the Adventure Galley, grew weary of not being paid. They had been promised a large percentage of the gains and didn't much enjoy watching ships full of riches pass by unplundered.
Yeah, they're all working on commission. So
no, that's the problem when you're in sales, or this is the opposite of sales because they're taking.
That's right.
But it's still a commission job. You got to know how much you're bringing in.
Exactly. They need a salary, much like in Our Flag Means Death. But no, this is Our Flag Means Death references are only the crew in the front.
5 people over here understand these references.
But yeah, if
the show's for you.
You're going, and he had to give a percentage to the financiers. He, in theory, would get a percentage, and he was getting a percentage to the crew. At some point, you're just like, there's too many hands in the cookie jar. Fuck it. I'm not doing that anymore. And then you know that you have a bunch of really angry Bostonians who swore upon nothing to be your crew. But
why do you think if you're a pirate, you don't want a pirate? Are you just looking for a vacation? you just want out on the sea?
He's like, I gotta get away from the wife and these kids.
Yeah,
Fuck.
maybe. They weren't his children.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know if he was thinking the privateering path would be less violent, but the people he had on the ship, I think, were way
violent.
They were massholes. They were massholes.
Settling back into his pirate ways, Captain Kidd and his men began attacking a few small ships from countries other than France, despite that this was in defiance of his charter. The swashbuckling crew was pleased they were plundering, but disappointed in the small gains. They decided Kidd was an unfit captain and that it was time to mutiny.
Number one all-time fear as a pirate is getting mutinied. For me, personally.
For you?
Yeah.
Well, because you really like to be liked. So if people mutiny,
that means they've
turned on you.
No, I'll throw myself overboard.
Scurvy, getting attacked by a shark, having to walk the plank, starvation.
Peg leg.
No, that's not my...
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Parrot turns on you.
Parrot turns on you, bites your face off. Do you know what I learned? I'm going to say this is a fun fact. I don't know if it's actually a fact, okay?
But it is fun.
But the reason pirates wore eye patches is because when they would go down under the deck, they could just... So they weren't like blinded from going from sun to dark. They would just move the patch to the other eye.
I do that when I wake up to go to the bathroom in like 3 o'clock in the morning.
You wear a pirate's patch to go to the bathroom?
I do the one eye. And if anybody doesn't do it, highly recommend, especially if you're afraid of spooky things in the dark. Because as soon as you flip the light, boop, other eye, blammo, perfect vision at night.
You turn the light on when you go to the bathroom at night?
Yeah, I can't be in the dark when something gets me.
No, I'm straight up pissing in the dark. I'm not turning on any light. We have like a tiny night light in the bathroom.
Oh, maybe
no.
I could.
Somebody said
someone in the phone was like, absolutely not.
No.
I do know
I'm not going from sleeping to full-on lights. And also, Tommy changed the light bulb in our bathroom.
No.
Dude, I yelled when I walked in. I go, what happened in here? And then Ella had to go to the bathroom one night, and she goes, why is it so bright? I go, Daddy changed the light bulbs. I don't know. But we can't turn... It's like you're being beamed up in there. It's like a 300 watt. It's ridiculous. God. So I can't turn it on.
Tan. You come out like...
Dude, it's so bright. I go, what'd you do? I got tired of not being able to see. I was like, there's a happy medium between these two.
Just a spotlight.
This is like hospital level lights. It's very unflattering to do your makeup in, too.
Oh, yeah, you could see everything. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, if you had to do a medical procedure, great. But yeah, not me getting close to my face in the mirror. I like a little softness. I don't need to see all that. No. A little softness.
Well, now you can just wear an eye patch, and that's how you go to the bathroom at night.
I'm telling you, tonight, try it, y'all. If you go from light to dark, try the eyeball switch. Works every time. Pirate style.
In a brutal argument, Kidd defended himself from the mutiny, swinging a bucket and fatally wounding his gunner, William Moore. After this deadly display of violence, Kidd regained control of his vessel. To keep the men satisfied, they began attacking any ship that came near. Eventually, they spotted the enormous Kedah, a 500-ton Armenian merchant vessel. It was quite a prize. The Kedah was full of the most valuable items of the day: raw silk, textiles, sugar, and chests of opium. Yes, please.
Yeah, that will...
That's what everybody wants. Textiles, all right. Sugar, sure. Opium, yes.
Especially by the chest full.
A chest full of opium?
That's like some Pulp Fiction shit when you open it up. It's like, oh. Not that it sounds like we do opium.
I've never done opium I don't think.
The excitement in our voice.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what opium is, so I can't say I haven't done it. But I don't think I have done it.
Well,
but it sounds... It's heroin? Somebody goes, it's heroin.
It has like
it's heroin. They're like trying to gently tell us up here. I have never done heroin, so I have not done opium.
I haven't either. But last night, when I was on the phone with Poison Control...
Oh, my God. Okay, back up. You can't just... You got to give some context
I had to call
for this.
Poison Control on myself.
Heather...
Picture this.
We get back from the show last night. Leanne and Tommy had been very nice and had already ordered food to be delivered to the room when we got back. It was Mexican food in Boston. So...
At like midnight, So
we eat the food and everything. All of a sudden, Heather's like, I think I'm going to be sick. So she goes to her room. She's gone for a half hour. And then she comes back and she's like, all right, I feel better. And then she just casually says, well, I had to call Poison Control because I thought I overdosed on Imodium AD.
I did think that. I did. So I felt sick, so I left the room. They were watching Love Island, having a good time. And, you're feeling kind of nauseated. I was like, I'm going to lay on the bed and chill out for a minute. Because the only thing I had taken a lot of was Imodium liquid gels. I switched to the liquid gels. I have IBS. You all know this if you've listened to the show. So my doctor was like, it's fine. You can take, whatever you need to take. So I
Finger trap doctor.
That's the one. My favorite doctor who he's been inside me orally and anally.
At the same time.
With cameras at the same time. And he said, look, he was like, your colon, awesome. I was like, oh my God, thank you. So my GI doctor.
Did the cameras touch at some point?
Yeah, they do in the middle. Boop.
They should.
That's how you know it's finished.
They're like, boop. Yeah.
But so I had taken 5 2-milligram pills, which sounds like a lot, but it's fine.
So 10 milligrams?
Yeah, total. So I start to Google, because I was in a haze of not feeling great, and I was like, can you overdose on Imodium? And it turns out if you take like 100 pills, which was not listed on there, but if you take a lot, it does have an opiate type of effect. And that's
a chest full of Imodium.
Who knew? Who knew?
That's what people were pillaging.
As more and more of a hypochondriac, I was like, well, I should check and see if I had too much. So I go to the poison control website. I'm like, I'm not going to bother these folks with a phone call. Gonna go through. They have an online screening tool. Do the online screening tool. Put in what I took. Put in how much I took. A fucking red stop sign comes up and it's like, call us immediately. You're in danger. Call 911 if your symptoms persist. So my Apple Watch is like, your heart rate is increased. And I was like, it's happening. Shortness of breath. I was like, fuck. I was like, I did it. I was like,
your heart rate's increasing because they've scares you into thinking that you've overdosed.
I was like, it's going to be on the news. My wish of dying in a block-long explosion is now gone. I was like, yeah, like a Die Hard situation. Like
none of us know this is happening. We're all blissfully unaware
they were
this is going on.
So I'm just like sweating, about to throw up, but I didn't. And I was like, oh God. So I called poison control, and a very, I'll say, curt woman answered. And was like, what did you take? And I was like, oh, and I told her, and she was like, hang on. And I said, well, and maybe, and I started trying to do math. She goes, don't try to do math. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, the side effect is I'm delirious and I can't do math anymore. Turns out she was punching it in a system, which is different than the one I went through, because she was like, you're fine. And I go, are you sure? Because my heart rate's up. She goes, well, it has an opiate effect, so your heart rate wouldn't be up. Probably you're just freaking out. And I was like, okay, cool. She talked me off my Imodium OD.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a whole deal. And so then, I walked back in there, and Tommy was like, you didn't, or did you say you didn't call it while you were in the room with us?
Yeah, I go, if you tell me that you called poison control without being in this room, she's like, I'm so sorry.
So sorry. I thought my life was at stake. There was a fucking stop sign on it. It was like, you're in danger.
They
just want you to call. It was really nice, though. It was like free. And also they go, tell me your name. And I was like, Heather? And she was like, Heather. And I was like, that's it. You don't need to know anymore. You already have this recording that you're definitely going to play for your colleagues.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And I would like a copy.
Yeah, I wonder if I could ask.
There's probably privacy laws, but maybe we can work. I've also been sitting on a joke that I have to say now.
Please.
More like Imodium OD.
Hey!
It's not funny now, I know.
No, it's
because
good.
I had to sit on it because I didn't want to interrupt Heather. It was funny in my head at the time.
It's still good. It was still worked.
Thank you.
Sinisterhood will be right back. That essay you definitely started weeks before the deadline and not the night before might be easier with some late night snacks. DoorDash can help get you the snacks and energy drinks you need to get through that all-nighter.
Get the back-to-school savings you really want and get unlimited free DoorDash delivery with Dash Pass. Just $4.99 a month for students. How worth it? So worth it.
With $0 delivery fees, exclusive items, and more than 25,000 members-only offers nationwide, Dash Pass by DoorDash has everything you need to make this semester memorable.
Dash Pass for students gets you delivery in an hour or less, so you can satisfy those spur-of-the-moment cravings, or save even more with 5% DoorDash credits back on pickup orders.
Dash Pass for students gives you access to more than just your favorite restaurants, saving you grocery runs, convenience store trips, and they even have your back with gift shopping.
I really wish that this had been a thing when I was in college. I would have been all over this.
I wouldn't have had to just eat the convenience store on campus food. This would have been fantastic. Or be like,
gross
here,
cafeteria food.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. This is from the convenience store on campus.
You can save even more with an annual membership, less than $50 a year for unlimited $0 delivery fees.
For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off when you spend $12 or more on your first DoorDash order when you download the DoorDash app and enter code SINISTER.
That's 50% off, up to a $15 value on your first order when you download the DoorDash app and enter code SINISTER.
Don't forget, that's code SINISTER for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. They say that hair care is the new skincare, but there is one brand that has taken it to the next level. With a devoted following, Kitsch has created game-changing essentials beauty enthusiasts swear by.
Started in 2010 by selling hair ties door to door. Literally just hustling a dream. Kitsch is self-funded, female-founded, and now carried in over 20,000 retail locations.
Kitsch's bestsellers include satin pillowcases, caps, and eye masks, and their satin is vegan and cruelty-free, not like silk, which was made from silkworms. These are so great for your hair and skin while you sleep, and it is my favorite part of laying my head down at night is my sweet, soft satin pillowcase.
They also offer heatless satin curling rollers. I stan the Kitsch heatless satin curling rollers. Complete game changer. And if you saw what I'm looking at right now at my vanity area, I have, probably 6 different types of curling irons or curling type things. This stays better than any of those, and it's so much easier, and it's better for my hair because it literally has no heat, so there's no damage. There are TikTok videos of people throwing away their $600 curlers for this. Also, you love the quick dry hair towel and scrunchie. They work like a dream. It just soaks the water right up. It cuts all your getting ready time in half.
It does. The other day you looked at a picture and goes, why did my hair look so good in that picture? And I said, that's when you did that satin rolling thing. She goes, oh, that's right. Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order at mykitsch.com/sinister.
That's right. 30% off anything and everything at mykitsch, spelled mykitsch.com/sinister.
One more time, mykitsch.com/sinister for 30% off your order.
In a brutal argument, Kidd defended himself. I reread that. Kidd captured the vessel, and his men voted to loot the ship. Just like the massholes they were.
That's what he goes, well, maybe we shouldn't take this one. And they go, fuck you. And they took it.
Well, why are you going to capture it if you're not going to take it?
It was this whole yada, yada, yada. The paperwork kind of technically was English and yada, yada, yada. They weren't supposed to take the ship and they took it anyway.
The yada, yada, yada over the whole pillaging part. They took the ship to a nearby port and sold off some of the goods for cold, hard cash. Then they sailed to the pirate port of Madagascar, where Kidd decided to ditch the leaky adventure galley and sink it off the coast. He renamed the Kada to the Adventure Prize and headed back for the Caribbean, not knowing that during his voyage he would become one of the most wanted men in the world.
Yes, so the Kada was full of stuff that they were actually shipping on behalf of the English. So he stole from the very people that had paid him, and he didn't want to do that, but he felt peer pressure, and we've all been there, right? We've all been there.
We've all taken a ship hostage and felt like this is the wrong thing to do, but you get talked into it because of all the chests of opium.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's not powder, right? You don't just have a chest of powder. It'd be like a block of something.
Yes, surely you wouldn't put powder in a
Person that
chest.
said it's heroin, is that correct?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
So it's,
all right.
It's a block? Chip off the old block?
According to season 4 of Weeds, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
According
all right.
to season
That's
4
how
of
we're going
Weeds.
to get all of our information. I like it. I was on board with that show for the first 2 seasons and then stopped watching it.
Hot take
so I
on
didn't see
Weeds.
season 4. What'd you say?
I said hot take on Weeds. I've never watched it, so I don't know.
Oh, no, not a hot take. It's good. Yeah, it's not bad. It got weird. It got weird at the last couple seasons, but, you know. Well, undeterred.
Good God.
When he landed on the sunny shores of Anguilla, Kidd got some bad news. He was a highly sought-after fugitive pirate and wanted by the British government. According to the New England Historical Society, the Kada was owned by a minister at the court of the Indian Grand Mogul. Wanting to maintain a good relationship with the Mughal Empire, the British government was looking to make an example out of Kidd.
This is when he's like, I'm not a pirate. And they're like, well, we gotta put
Somebody's got to be on the hook for this.
Gotta take him down.
Well, undeterred, Kid had an idea. He still had the treasure after all. He decided the best course of action would be to bribe the government and use the treasure as a collateral for his pardon. He supposedly entrusted a fellow pirate in Anguilla to watch the adventure prize, while he took a smaller ship to New York to plead his case. This plan did not go well. We're all shocked, I'm sure. The pirates left in charge of the adventure prize, raided her, then sunk her into the Caribbean Ocean.
Yeah, they come back and they're like, so where's all the stuff? They're like, we don't know.
Where's the ship? I don't know.
Ocean's weird, pretty deep. A lot of stuff happens. Who knows?
All of what you just said is very true.
No,
the ocean is weird. It's very deep, and weird stuff happens
all the time.
It's just like space, but the bottom. Space is the top. The ocean's the bottom. They're both infinite.
Negative.
We don't know what's out there. It's deep and scary and dark. I have a legitimate fear of both of them. But you could just sink anything.
Yeah,
that's how you're just like, I don't know, we just sunk this giant ass ship.
That's his second one too. He sunk the other one in Madagascar. He's like, man, it's kind of linky. Fuck it, just dump it, shut it down, start over, and you just bail. And that's how we have the giant trash islands, because everyone just was like, the ocean's big, just throw your shit in it. Where's it gonna go? It's like, well, eventually it floats back to the top, and the turtle's right on it, and it's a real bummer.
Yeah. If you want to see a real bummer of a documentary, check that one out. It's a real bummer of a documentary about all the trash in the ocean. Headed towards New York to buy himself a pardon, Kid made a quick pit stop along the way, or several stops depending on who you ask. It would turn out that Kid hadn't left everything behind on the adventure prize. He took some of his alleged 400,000 pounds of loot, worth over $34 million in today's money, to hide along the way.
This is a classic, not all your eggs in one basket. You put all your loot in one ship.
You want to diversify your portfolio.
That's right, your boat
That's
folio.
That's all he's doing. Your what?
Your boat folio.
Your boat folio. Your pirate folio. Mine wasn't as good. Yours was better.
It's better.
Yours was better. Good. Everybody loves to hunt for treasure, too.
This is another, like Oak Island or Forest Fen, where as we research, you find like, oh, your whole life is now wrapped up into this.
It's a very niche thing you're into.
That's something
very tight-knit community.
Have to put on your dating profile. It's like what we learned about the pineapple. And like if you're into a certain lifestyle, which I'm like happy for you, you should be in that lifestyle. But you have to disclose that relatively early on so that I don't fall in love with someone who's like, and well, it's my dream to just quit my job and go hunt pirate treasure. You're like, oh no. Or the right person with if you put a little pirate flag in your profile, they're like, me too.
You find your pirate.
Yes. Let's go together. Where do you want to start?
You plunder together.
That's right.
A couple that plunders together stays together. Now, you're not going to have much money because you're looking for it. You're looking for the money, so you don't have any of your own. That's the catch.
You just go and meet with a financial advisor and it's like, so what is your retirement plan? They're like, we have a lead.
We have a map.
Stay with me on a treasure chest
Do
of
you
opium.
see where this X is?
That's right.
That's where we're trying to get our 401k to. That X right there. Kid's most well-documented stop was Gardiner's Island off the coast of Long Island. There he left 20,000 pounds, or around $1.6 million. The island's owner, John Gardiner, later worked with the British government to return the treasure. That would be the only sum of Kid's loot ever given back to the crown. That means the rest of the millions are hidden somewhere else.
This Gardiner's Island is interesting. It's a privately owned island that the Gardiner family still owns. And
to this day, like 400 years.
So many years. And whoever the most recent owner is, they call themselves Lord of the Manor. With another 14th Lord of the Manor. But when he buried the treasure here, he basically said, leave it here or I will come back and slash all of your throats. And John Gardiner was like, I'm going to call this one in, and called it in. And I guess either Captain Kidd was just not an effective pirate or like not threatening. Maybe he didn't want to be identified with a pirate life, so he didn't like wear the hat. I don't know. But whatever it was, they immediately flipped on him and we're like, just call the cops.
Also, I think if you don't want to be a pirate, then you probably don't want to have to end up doing like murder and stuff.
Yeah, probably not.
So then you just don't go back. It was all a bluff.
Yeah,
he wasn't
knew.
going to slash anybody's throats.
Wow. Kid with a heart of gold.
Yeah. And that's the name of the biopic that will be writing about Captain Kidd. Kid with a Heart of Gold, starring the most obnoxious kid in Dallas.
Most annoying.
Most annoying.
There you go.
Annoying, which
Yes.
is worse. Annoying, or
Yeah.
obnoxious?
No, obnoxious is worse, I think. I think it's annoying. My mom made me a pin to wear to school, so...
That said, of your accolades?
Yeah, it was a major award. So
What did it say?
Most annoying kid in Dallas. Kiss FM. Kid Craddock in the morning. 106.1.
It's still a radio station.
Still a radio station.
It's still a very
They
good radio
announced it
station.
Over. God, this was traumatic. They announced it over the loudspeaker.
At your school?
Yeah, in grade school, and they were like, Heather McKinney.
Did people, was everybody happy? Were you real
Yeah,
popular?
they were happy. I took another kid I went to school with on the trip with my dad. Couldn't go because of work, so it was for 2 adults, 2 kids. So my sister was old enough to be called an adult, and so it was my mom, my sister, and then me and my friend from grade school, and we had a fun adventure. Yeah, they were fucking jealous as hell.
Oh, nice. That could have gone one of 2 ways at school, so I'm glad I went the good
I had
way.
a freaking cool Furby. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. We just saw a Furby made out of baked beans a minute ago on the internet. Oh,
Bean
yes.
Furby.
It's the memes going around. You guys have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, that hot bean Furby algorithm.
The British government confirmed that the Adventure Prize had been looted, then sunk in the Caribbean. But no one in Anguilla could find where the money had gone or where the ship had sunk. Had they truly destroyed the vessel? And if they did, was the loot really left behind? Or did Kidd take it with him to hide on his way to New York? Kidd found no mercy with the governor, just as no one found any more of his treasure. He and a fraction of his riches they could find were sent back to England. The once great captain faced a court of law and was charged with piracy and the murder of his ship's gunner with the bucket.
Yeah, it's a murder weapon.
I mean, I guess anything can be if
Yeah.
you want it to be, but you got to hit somebody a lot of times with a bucket for that to happen.
Unless it's full.
That's... Oh, well, it's only going to be full once.
That's true.
Kidd denied he was a pirate, professed his innocence, and promised if he were given a ship and his life, he could return and pay back the crown and his wealthy financiers. The court was not convinced. Because Kidd had caused a lot of headaches for the king with his piracy antics, they wanted to make an example out of the marauder.
And he wrote letters. He told them verbally, anybody that would listen, and he wrote a ton of letters of like, listen, there's millions of dollars. All I need is a boat, and please don't kill me, and I will give the money to you. And yeah, they didn't give. It was not about the money at that
Do
point.
you think he would have?
I think he would have run off.
Yeah.
I would have.
So, yeah, they did well, I won't say they did the right thing because I'm against the death penalty. But
I'm pro-pirate.
They did what they, they were like, he's probably going to run off. So we're going to nip this one in the bud.
I think
somebody's got to be an example.
It was largely like a political murder of like, no. A murder? Look at me, my hot takes. Captain Kidd was murdered by the crown. This shall not stand. Man, I really was into pirates.
I
and
feel
it's
like
coming
I was
back.
the Captain Kidd of my family.
Oh, really? They just lobbed it on you?
Yeah, I had to be the example for everyone and then, of what not to do. And I would be the one to get in trouble. And everyone was just like, you're fine. Go hide
Even
your
when-
millions. Sink your ships, do whatever you want. But I got thrown in the gallows. I was also a real asshole kid. So it makes sense. It makes sense. I was regaling Heather with some stories the other day. She was like, who were you? I was like, I don't know, man.
She's a bad bitch.
The 90s were a wild time.
Bad.
Yeah, chest of all sorts of stuff. Not opium, but
The real
a lot
treasure.
of other stuff.
That's the real treasure chest right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. There's 2 of them. Yep.
If you're in the back, I pointed to her breasts.
And send in for the people at home that are listening. Yeah, we'll have a... Thank you, Heather. All right. Captain Kidd was convicted and sentenced to death. When they first tried to hang him, the rope snapped.
Because God didn't want it to happen.
Yeah. He also showed up drunk because why wouldn't you?
Right?
I would. The second time worked. He was executed by hanging on May 23rd, 1701. then covered in tar and left on display near the Thames River. To drive the point home, the government left his body at the gallows for years until it finally simply rotted away.
Tar is a preservative.
If you're another pirate and you're pirating along the waters and you see that pirate up there, you might think twice about doing pirate stuff again.
It's like
a scared straight for pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Kidd gone and the location of his riches a mystery, hunters set off on a quest for the treasure that would last for centuries. One of the suspected places was near his other favorite hiding place, Gardiner's Island. This neighboring island was not too far from Kidd's former home on Wall Street.
This is one of the things that the treasure hunters point to. They're like, he could have seen it. He could
keep an eye
from
on
his
it.
house. It would have been the perfect
That makes
spot.
sense. You want to see it's it's like the money's in the banana stand. It's gotta be close. You gotta keep it close so you can keep an eye on it.
And you can't tell anybody, but then you run the risk of they don't burn the banana stand down. But
yeah. Originally known as Great Oyster Island, the 14-acre parcel now home to the Statue of Liberty was once the fishing spot for the Lenape people. It later became known as Bedloe's Island in 1677. In 1732, over 30 years after Kidd's execution, the island was sold for just 5 shillings to a pair of wealthy merchants. The two men fixed it up, and it became known alternatively as Love Island. Mm-hmm. The original Love Island, you guys. Dun, dun, dun,
Six
dun,
sexy
dun, dun,
colonial women. 6 sexy pirates.
Oh, man. Nobody wore like bikinis back then, so you're just standing in the blaring sun waiting to get picked in like full-on petticoats and 1,000 layers of shit. Yep.
I watched Love Island for the first time last night.
She did, yes.
Never watched it before. Yeah.
We're gonna do a better season tonight.
Okay. All right. I watched season something of Australia.
It was Australia. Yeah, I know.
Everyone,
it was. Meh. We didn't get her in on the right. We're going season 3 UK.
I'm going UK tonight.
That's where we're starting.
I'm getting it. I'm
My
in.
girl Camille. Gosh,
Can't
I'd
wait.
take a bullet for Camille. I'll go on record saying that.
Jesus.
She's incredible. I follow her on Instagram. She lives a great life. I'm not going to spoil the season for you, but
Thank you.
things worked out well for her.
Good. That actually gives me great comfort. That's why I watch the same things over and over again. Because I don't like to be nervous about how it's going to turn out.
I can tell you everything that happens before we watch it if you
Good.
want. So you can just go in with not knowing
Just
anything.
enjoy the ride. It's like a roller coaster. I know, probably. I'll make it off at the end.
There's a chance you won't, though. It does happen.
That's why I like to watch those YouTube videos I was talking about yesterday. I watch a lot of theme park YouTube shows. Yeah!
Wow.
I love this excited response. It's one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube. Just
People going on rides?
Yeah, people going on rides, how the rides work, behind the scenes of rides, the history of the Fast Pass. I told you it was an hour and 45-minute documentary on the history of the Fast Pass. Very enlightening. I've been to Disney like 2 times in the last decade, but I'm still like, I'm watching these videos. I don't even go, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's how you beat the line. Oh, that's what you need to pack in your backpack. Nice.
You got a tiny backpack to take,
I did. For the honeymoon, I bought a tiny mini backpack. I'm like not a Disney adult, but I was cosplaying as a Disney adult. And you know what? I loved it.
When in Rome. This all came up because we had a big old talk about Disney adults. If you are one, that is great.
Yes.
We are not saying it isn't. It's a whole vibe. Again, it's a very tight-knit community.
You just have to indicate it in your dating profile.
You have to put
It's very
a little mouse
Yes.
emoji so we all know. Did y'all know? Oh, I'm about to say this, and this is this thing Tommy told me that I think is true, but then I don't know. I just heard him go, no.
It's not true? Oh no.
I'm not gonna say it.
Well, there's a mutiny. You're gonna have to wield a bucket.
Oh my
to
God,
save
I don't have a
yourself.
bucket. I got a big ass thing of water though. Okay, what is if you're a swinger and you wanna meet other swingers at the grocery store, you turn a pineapple upside down in your cart.
In the car.
Is this true?
People are saying yes.
Okay, all right, it's true. It's true. God, there's a lot of discussion.
It turned into chaos.
I don't know. It's either true or it's not true.
All right.
Thank you. From the woman who knows about opium, it is true. I want to party with this table after the show. Well, that's what we learned. So, yes, you got to put a pineapple in your dating profile.
Done and done.
You got to put mouse ears.
Done and done.
You got to put a pirate's flag. Whatever is your thing,
Yes.
you put it in there.
I think that's the best way. Be yourself. I don't know. No one asked for my dating advice.
What would yours
tonight.
be? What would your emoji that like defines the most about you be?
Oh, that is such a great question. Probably, nope. I was gonna say an emoji that indicates spilling things because I do. That was in my dating profile. I said I'm a lot of fun to have dinner with, but I'll probably spill something. And I was like, oh, maybe like the 3 water droplets, but I shouldn't. That doesn't mean spilling.
That's a different
be like
crowd.
I added those to my profile. I got so many more swipes.
So many men wanted to meet me.
People are constantly calling me. Yeah, probably, for sure.
Mine would be the eye roll emoji.
Hell yeah.
In 1753, the owners placed an advertisement to rent it out. According to author Esther, yes, I say advertisement.
When you're talking about Love Island, you're
I've
talking about
always
Love
said
Island.
it that way, and I will continue to say it that way.
You say it.
It's not wrong. It's
Good
just
God,
different.
we're in a fist fight. Get the bucket. Get the bucket.
I need a bucket up here. A bucket filled with these. My God, that could take out the whole front row if we swung a bucket around with these in them. Not that I want to. Everyone calm down. I would never.
I'm going to drink this whole thing before it's over with.
You're going to have to pee then. Mm-hmm. According to author Esther Singleton, in Historic Buildings of America, the ad read,
To be let, Bedloe's Island, alias Love Island. Together with the dwelling house and lighthouse being finely situated for a tavern, where all kinds of garden stuff, poultry, etc. may be easily raised for the shipping outward bound, and from where any quantity of pickled oysters may be transported. It also abounds with English rabbits. I was like, do you want to come?
sounds just like the villa.
I was going to say, to our fuck island, it has everything. Oysters, rabbits, garden stuff. Mm-hmm. No specifics. You don't know. You'll figure it out when you get there.
And you know what rabbits do? It's just like the Castle of Island. A bunch of English rabbits up in that villa is what you got on Love Island. Or Aussie rabbits.
Yeah, I was like, are these last time? I'm like, these people just making out? They only just met. She's like, that's the show.
Oh, yeah.
That's the show.
Yeah. She goes, do they sleep in the same bed? I go, yep. That is, it's... And then she's like, well, how do you play the game? I'm like, they don't. They just fuck. And then they break up with each other, and then somebody else comes in, and they hook up with him. There's really no game to be played. Well, I guess the game of love.
That's true. The ultimate game.
Mm-hmm. Love Island briefly became the less sexy quarantine island in 1756 when a smallpox outbreak left the government in need of somewhere to keep the ill.
You know, those guys were like, not our island. It abounds with oysters, and think of the rabbits.
Understanding its value, the government built Fort Wood on the spot a few years later. But even with a much more serious mission of protecting New York's harbors, the men in charge of Fort Wood understood that the ground they were living on was housing treasure beyond their wildest dreams.
Is Fort Wood the sequel to Love Island?
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
it is now.
It's fuck boot camp. Welcome to Fort Wood,
I
baby.
feel like you need to go to Fort Wood before you go to Love
It's
Island.
true.
I think
Prep.
that's the prequel to the show. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to prep.
According to an 1892 New York Times report, it was well known that Bedloe's Island was one of kids' favorite
Banks of deposit.
One enlisted man made aware of this fact was Sergeant Gibbs, who joined the military in 1825 and was stationed at Fort Wood. Gibbs knew that Fort Wood had been built on or around at least part of Kidd's enormous fortune. He also knew that, according to pirate code, a captain would always kill, then bury, one or two of his crewmen on top of the treasure to stand guard for eternity.
He's like, we all know that. It's pirate code. It's in the rules.
That's why I make you take an oath. Man, you don't even get to go out like doing something like badass, like avoiding a cannon or fighting to defend your ship. You just got to be the one to lay on top of a bunch of gold.
Lay down. This is your final resting place. You're like, all right, fuck. I knew it was coming.
Gibbs wasn't too scared of the idea of a ghost or two, but thought it would be best to undertake the adventure with a second person. He found a young recruit named Carpenter, willing and able to help with the hunt. According to Legends of America, the pair consulted a fortune teller to assist in finding the exact location of the loot. The oracle they found was top-notch. He claimed to be the seventh son of a seventh daughter born with a caul.
So you joined the military, and one of your commanding officers is like, hey, I have an assignment. We'll go to a fortune teller. She's gonna, or he's gonna tell us where some loot is. And this guy's like, all right.
What are you going to say? No?
There may be some ghosts. Okay.
I think that sounds badass.
Sure. Yeah,
More people would join the military if that's what you were getting yourself into.
Like, listen, we have everything. Pirate loot hunting, fortune telling, fighting
Ghost
a ghost. Yes.
It sounds like a good time. We recently talked about calls on another episode. If you don't know, it's when the baby is born with the amniotic sac still around it. And then they have to kind of like pull it off of them. Yeah. And back in the day, they would dry them out and keep them as little bags. And our friend, her most recent baby was born with a caul, and her husband would not let her do that. And we thought that was wrong. The midwife was like, do you want to keep this? And he was like, no. I was like, yes, absolutely. I also learned last night what a wet specimen is. So this could have been a wet specimen.
You keep it as a wet specimen, then you both win. Or you don't have to pay 5 cents for a grocery bag every time.
That's true. Yep. When you go to Trader Joe's, you just take your little amniotic sac and fill it up with whatever you want. The soothsayer told the men they were looking for a flat rock and asked if they had seen any. According to the Times, Gibbs told the man,
there is a rock on the north shorefront, just about the middle of the island, but it's only accessible at low tide.
The fortune teller was pleased, telling the men,
just the place a pirate would choose for such a purpose.
However, the teller did not have the precise location of the chest. He instructed the pair,
the exact location can only be determined by a witch hazel divining rod.
Where were two soldiers supposed to find a witch hazel divining rod? It just so happened the fortune teller had one he could sell to the men.
I think I've got one in the back. Hold on.
He told them to wait to use the item until
the full of the moon at midnight.
They waited patiently for weeks and finally set out to hunt in the dead of night on the next full moon. The night of their hunt, Carpenter started having second thoughts. According to the Times, he felt
timid about ghosts.
Gibbs, on the other hand, was ready to face whatever he had to in order to get his hands on all that money. According to the Times,
he could stand the dead pirates if he got the cash.
Are you team Carpenter or Gibbs? Gibbs.
Yeah,
I'm team Gibbs.
Man, take it. Yeah, if it's a moment with a ghost in a lifetime of treasure and
God, this sounds like an incredible opening to a movie.
Captain Kidd, life story. Kid with a heart of gold. Picture this.
Even with a nervous Carpenter in tow, the men snuck out of their windows and headed out to the shore. Eventually, they came upon the rock. They used the divining rod, and miraculously, it worked. It led them to a spot, and they began to dig. However, by the time they started digging, the tide began rolling in. They had to hurry if they wanted to beat the waves. This is why I don't play video games. I can't stand time stuff. It stresses me out too much. So if you're like, and just the water's coming in,
the
and
more
you're like,
dig, the more, yeah.
At any second you could drown. It's like Escape Room 2. Also watched that the other night. We watched a lot of movies. Movies. I mean, they are movies, but, you know. Y'all ever seen Chompy and the Girls? Once again,
wow.
I would like to point out to Tommy, no one has heard of this movie. It's an indie horror classic, and he made us watch it.
It's one of those where someone's like, you gotta watch this. And then we watched it, and I'm really glad I did, because it was it makes you believe in yourself. Like, I can make a movie someday.
It's an experience.
I can do that. I have a phone right here. It has a camera on it. I can record that. It's great.
It's a wild ride if you're in the market for that kind of stuff. Once Gibbs came to, they got to work and soon unearthed a box 4 feet long. Their excitement quickly turned to terror when they were faced with an otherworldly being. Gibbs was said to have
uttered an unearthly yell that turned out every man in the guardhouse.
When their comrades came to find them, Gibbs was unconscious in the water, and Carpenter was running full speed back toward the barracks.
This man just abandoned his buddy.
Didn't even try to drag him out of the waves. He just full on fled.
He's like, I ain't fucking with that. Bye.
Once Gibbs came to, he and Carpenter were forced to face their commanding officer and confess what they had done. Quickly, the commandant found that their story was more about what had been done to them. The men said that they had encountered
a regulation demon. Which is by the book.
Great band name.
That's awesome.
Improv troupe name.
Hey guys, regulation demon.
If this is a regulation demon, what's the opposite of regulation? Non-regulation? Is that what we call it?
Loose.
Rogue demon? Cooler band name than regulation demon.
They're at the battle. The bands are like, you fucking guys are here? We were first. Shut up, regulation demon.
Oh, rogue demon. They have to have written down some sort of bylaws that shows you this is a regulation demon.
He's like, it's by the book. I'll show you the book. I also
Checks all the boxes.
They had to go to their boss and sit in his office. One of them soaking wet, the other one sweaty because he sprinted away, and be like, I'm going to ask you one more time to tell me, walk me through, what did you do last night? And they're like, it all started with a fortune teller. It's like many, many stories do.
Mm-hmm. They each had a different description of what they uncovered. Gibbs described it as
a black horned thing. It had wings on its shoulders, and it wore its tail barbed.
Carpenter, on the other hand, said that it was
red, had neither wings nor legs, and moved without visible means of locomotion.
Gibbs told his commanding officer when he confronted the monster,
the kid specter breathed sulfur flames in my face and threw me into the bay.
This is why you shouldn't have eyewitness accounts, because you have two men, they were there at the very same time. They're two different colors. One has legs or wings, the other doesn't. Get your story straight, fellas.
Yeah, I think that Carpenter is less reliable because he ran off. So he's like, well, from what I saw over my shoulder, and you're like, you ran off in the middle of it. But yeah, you can't trust eyewitness accounts ever, whether it comes to crimes or demons.
I like that Gibbs said, which wore its tail barbed, as if that was a choice.
That morning, when it put on its coat and tie, it chose a barbed tail.
According to the Times, Carpenter said,
I didn't wait for that.
He took off running for the guardhouse, hoping to escape the creature. The men were glad to be safe from the monster, but left disappointed, as the chest they had unearthed remained buried in the area of the land now covered by the higher tide.
Man, you're that close. And I'm sure you're also told by your commanding officer, yeah, if you go back there, we have to throw you out of the... Like, you can't do this. You can't go back there. So then
I
you just have
don't know
to
what
work.
The problem is. Why can't they just go unearth it?
Or all work together and say, like, listen, we get bigger shovels. Like, let's all do this together.
The more people that can do it, the faster you can get it out. Then that's how you beat the clock.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
2 years after disturbing the chest, soldiers on the island were subjected to another paranormal encounter. This one emerged from the island's cemetery. Unlike Gibbs, who had gone catatonic at the sight of a ghost, or Carpenter, who ran off, the Times reported that an Englishman by the name of Gardner boasted he was not afraid to take on the creature. Gardner
was possessed of a cultivated taste for the supernatural and had met and exorcised many ghosts.
This motherfucker's a lot.
Dude.
Everybody's had a friend like this. You're at a party, everybody's just trying to enjoy their pirate stories, and then Gardner walks in, he's like, actually, the thing about pirates, and just tries to one-up everyone. Gardner had heard of Gibbs's previous failed mission and was irritated that he had not been chosen as his partner on the treasure hunt. Had he been present on the
nocturnal adventure,
Gardner believed that
the red or black beast would have been corralled and preserved in spirits.
he's a real Monday morning quarterback, this guy.
He's got a lot of ideas. Haven't not been there. Nocturnal Adventure is the trip that's on the third in the trilogy beyond Fort Wood, Love Island, Nocturnal Adventure.
Nocturnal Adventure also plays on the same bill as Rogue Demon and Regulation Demon.
Head to head.
To see Nocturnal Adventure Fest. Yeah, Battle of the Bands, Nocturnal Adventure. The 19th century Ghostbuster would get his chance. One night, Gardner was working the graveyard shift from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. As his shift began, the corporal teased him, according to the Times, saying,
"Look out for the graveyard, Gardner. Don't let any of the ghosts get away."
That guy was like, I've been waiting a long time to say this.
They're like, put him on a graveyard shift.
It was just an hour into his shift when Gardner abandoned his post. He ran, terrified, leaving both his hat and his musket behind to report what he had seen. The once confident soldier told his commanding officer that a
tall thing, all in white,
had floated up from the graveyard and made its way toward him. Then Gardner explained the ghastly figure snatched his musket from him, turned it on him, and forced Gardner away from his post.
He got post-jacked by a ghost with a musket.
With hands. We always say, you don't want to hear knocking because that implies the ghost has hands. If it can grab a weapon, it's got fingers, hands, arguably arms. Gotta hold it up. All sorts of stuff.
No ghost. If a ghost can snatch a musket, I'm out. Nah.
And you gotta get close. If he's holding the musket and it gets snatched from him, that ghost got close.
Real close.
Why wouldn't you have used the musket?
Gardner is a gentleman. You never use a musket on a ghost. Sinisterhood will be right back. Hey, so I have a dog, allegedly, but really she's like a tiny person. The goose likes to sit up. She likes to eat people food. She wants to be at the dinner table, not below it waiting for scraps. She would like a seat.
Are you sure she's not a person?
Well,
how do you know she's a dog?
It's a question. It's a good question. I think she's just an alien masquerading as a person, and she's from another planet. She has to be.
Well, I think you know she's a dog now because you got her DNA tested.
That's true. It was a big relief. We're very excited to be working with Embark, the dog DNA company that allows you to finally understand what makes your dog so unique.
Embark is the provider of the highest rated dog DNA test on the market. They screen for more than 215 genetic health risks across 350 breeds. That's more breeds tested than any other dog DNA test.
Before digging into any more details, we want to thank EmbarkVet.com for supporting Sinisterhood. Go to EmbarkVet.com to get free shipping and save $40 with promo code CREEPY.
So how does the process work? It's super simple. You just swab your pup's cheek, mail the sample back in the provided prepaid return envelope, and in just a few weeks, your dog's results will be ready. Plus, Embark can help you and your vet put together a personalized care plan for your dog.
I really loved that I found out. I thought Lucy was Chihuahua Min Pin. People kind of eyeballed it. And it turns out she's majority Chihuahua, but also with Min Pin, which has been helpful for me to give to her vet whenever she's older. You know, she goes to the vet for certain problems. And then with Buffy, I was told by the shelter she was a black-mouthed cur hound dog. She's like 99% pit bull. So I'm happy. Whatever she is, I love her. I just wanted to know. So when we take her to the vet, they're not looking for hound stuff. They're looking for dog stuff. And I get little emails that she's got cousins.
And when somebody says, what kind of dog is that? You can honestly say now, oh, I 100% know. This dog is not a person dressed in a tiny dog suit. This is actually a dog. Here are the breakdowns of the percentages of what kind of dog she is.
Or Lucy hacked the system somehow. We don't know. The goose is very tough.
To be debated.
Is your dog's breed mix a mystery? You're not alone. About 72% of pup parents are puzzled when it comes to their dog's breed. It's time to end these guessing games and get the answers with an Embark dog DNA test.
Right now, Embark has a limited time offer on their breed and health kit and purebred kit for our listeners. Go to embarkvet.com to get free shipping and save $40 with promo code CREEPY.
Visit embarkvet.com and use promo code CREEPY to save $40 today. From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts, and it really hurts, which is why we started using Upside.
Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, dines out, pretty much everyone. With every purchase, we are earning cash back thanks to Upside.
You gotta love an app that you just use it and go, that's it? That's all I have to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was easy, because I think you and I are both like, just break it down. Get to the point, right? I don't want to have to go through a bunch of stuff. Like, I need to know, and it's just that easy. It's shocking. To get started, all you have to do is download the free Upside app in the App Store or on Google Play. Use our promo code CREEPY, and you get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more.
Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit or debit card, and get paid.
Cha-ching! In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside.
You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands.
Download the free Upside app and use promo code SINISTER to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more.
That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code SINISTER.
Having talked a big game all these years, the commanding officer inquired why Gardner hadn't done what he had bragged so many times that he could do: exercise and trap the ghoul. According to the Times, Gardner explained that,
I'm not used to American ghosts. This ghost was different than anything I've encountered before.
okay, I get it, because Love Island America does not hit the same as Love Island UK. So if you're used to one and then you get the other, it is unnerving.
There's a difference. There's a difference.
Gardner also explained that British ghosts are
Generally aged and respectable and they're always well-bred.
they would never have snatched an object or even pointed a finger at the living. The Times reported Gardner's explanation that a British ghost's stony stare was all that was needed to show how noble they were in birth and in death. This ghost, on the other hand,
Generally behaved in a most unghostly fashion.
I mean, if we're being real, like, Americans, we're not as classy as the British. So, like, it makes sense that even ghosts, like, in the other world, it's gonna...
Certainly.
Nothing changes.
It's not true. It's not true. But I can't not think that all British people are very cool and fancy like Colin Firth. I just assume that they're awesome and they wear a cool, like, chain pocket watch on a nice vest. And they're like, indeed. And that's a positive thing I can't get out of my head.
It's the accent. Mm-hmm. Everything sounds better with that accent.
It does,
even if
indeed.
you're getting a musket grabbed away from you.
Give me that musket.
Boo! That was not a British boo. Boo! That was better.
Very British.
How would you do it?
Boo.
Boo!
Boo indeed.
Gardner was forced back to his post the next night and encountered the ghost again. Terrified, he begged for a transfer to a different assignment, but his commanders refused and set him out yet again on a third night. Gardner was so afraid that his commanding officer inquired to his supervisors what they should do about him. The commandant told his subordinate,
Well, the usual ghost never appears more than 3 nights in succession.
duh.
If this one breaks the rules, he'll find himself trapped. For I assume that this is a male ghost. No respectable female ghost, even of uncertain age, would be out after midnight without an escort.
The patriarchy can't even give it to the dead.
Not even a ghost.
They gotta take it all.
I don't care if you're alive or dead, you're a lady. Stay
Yes.
indoors. Like,
Keep
fuck
that
you.
sheet down. No one needs to see that. Do not show us your ghostly ankles. I mean, if they've got a list of rules for the demons,
Yes.
it makes sense that they're like, ghosts don't go out 3 nights in a row. Everybody knows that, idiot.
Yeah. It's part of the training.
The fourth night, a second guard was placed near Gardner. When they inevitably heard Gardner scream just after midnight, the second guard ran over and saw what Gardner had described, a tall thing, all in white. Before the ghost could challenge him, the second guard took the butt of his gun and whacked the ghost in the face. To his surprise, it tumbled down.
That's New York style, baby.
You just got New York, baby.
The British guy was like, I could never. And he's like, get out of the way and figure out what this is.
When they pulled the white sheet off, they found it was another soldier who had a grudge against Gardner. This guy's a hero, the true hero of this story. Statue of Liberty's great, but this was a great bit, and he really took one for the team. Getting smacked in the face with the butt of a gun.
He took one. And also the dedication of all 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Sneaking out, keeping the sheet
He had
straight.
to sleep all day so he could be up all night scaring Gardner. And everyone was like, where is Carl? They're like, Carl's on a very important mission. Do not disturb Carl, okay?
Carl knows what he's doing.
When they pulled the white sheet off, they found it was another soldier who had a grudge against him. He had grown tired of the boasting and waited for Gardner to take a graveyard shift so he could frighten him. It worked. The soldier recovered from his musket thump in 5 months' time. And
It was a hard hit.
It was hard to be alive back then, you guys. It's surprising anybody made it out.
There were just
I guess no one did. No one did.
No one made it out alive.
Eventually, no one ever does, but you know.
You guys
We have more of a shot now, which is cool.
If you came in with a musket thump, they're like, we'll just rub some opium on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Get the chest.
Like
Somebody
just
get the
smoke
chest.
this opium for the next 5 months and something will happen. Either come out of it or you won't, but it'll be a fun 5 months. So there's that. Well, Gardner gave up his dreams of becoming a Ghostbuster. Though that ghost was a vengeful colleague and not a vengeful pirate, other sightings on the island haven't been so easily explained. Because of its use as a pest house, the burning of the island when it was a refugee encampment during the Revolutionary War, and the presence of pirates, Liberty Island has been associated with high levels of energy, some of it malevolent. On October 28th, Heather's birthday, 1886, the 150-foot-tall Statue of Liberty was unveiled. Some visitors to the island claim they have seen ghostly white faces peeking out of the Green Goddess's crown's windows. Ghost lights have been reported, both around the shores of the island and even floating around near Lady Liberty's head. Some visitors to the island claim they have seen ghostly white faces peeking out of the windows. Sometimes we edit stuff and then we forget that we copy and pasted stuff. And so things get in there twice.
Cut it. Shut it down.
And that's why you come to a live show, everybody.
That's what we're going to do.
Because that's what you get behind this. You're seeing how the sausage is made. And you're like, wow, they sound so polished. Yeah, because we have editors that Tommy edits all of our mistakes out. This, we're going to leave it. It's raw dogging it.
Get it raw, baby.
All raw.
Get it raw.
There have been reports that doors open and close on their own on the island, and that spectral figures in clothing from bygone eras wander aimlessly until they are approached. And they simply disappear.
That was very eerie, is reading people who work later shifts or earlier shifts on the island and seeing, oh, there's somebody over there. Maybe they're, I don't know, are they in a costume? And when you approach them, they disappear into the mist.
Did you see any of this on your trip?
Not when I was there. And I also didn't get spat on, so win-win.
That's
for
nice.
The trip. Got to go on the Crown though. I was
you went all the way up.
6th grade. Yeah.
Is it a? This is gonna be a stupid question, but I've never been. It's an elevator, right?
No. It's just like a staircase.
How many stairs?
Like a lot of stairs. Like so many. If you
it's just
see
hundreds of
Ghostbusters-
people going up a staircase.
Yeah, with your faces in an ass right in front of you.
Is it worth it when you get to the top? We have drones now. We can feel like we've been there.
It was cool.
I don't need to walk
Like,
up all those stairs.
I'm glad I did it when I had 12-year-old knees.
Right.
Now I have 35-year-old knees, and I'm like,
Can't do it. Nope.
when I'm like one-eyeing it to the bathroom at 3 a.m., like I don't need to be trying to walk up all those stairs. But it's a kind of a, if they still let you do it, it's a bucket list thing. It's very cool. And also seeing it from even just looking up, it's an immense, I just don't understand. Talk about, I just don't understand how they put that thing together. They did it. The same with everything in New York. This city is phenomenal, especially architecturally. This is the dumbest, most Texan backwoods bullshit you're going to hear me say. We were driving in the Google Maps told Tommy where to go, but we were driving in and I didn't say it out loud, but I'm sharing it with you all. And I looked up at one of your massive fucking bridges and I went, that's a big old bridge. I was like, God damn. I just was looking at it. I was like, that's a big fucking bridge. Look at all those cars on that bridge. And it ain't falling down or nothing. I was like, God damn. I was just in awe.
We have bridges where we live.
But they're like...
they're not as big as y'all's. I'll give you that.
It's like, they made them out of cement in the last 10 years. This is a big fucking bridge. Somebody in the 1920s with a fucking huge handlebar mustache was like, and they're like, 30 years later, there was a bridge.
They probably got buried inside of it.
Maybe.
I know that was dark, but
dark
it's true.
Fuck.
All right?
Well,
it was hard to be alive back then.
Everybody.
You could do just walking down the street, somebody spats on your head from that statue you just erected. Is it like a penny from the Empire State Building? If you spit on someone, it's just takes you out?
It does. It leaves a ball
Magic
spot.
loogie? Mm-hmm.
It's a magic loogie.
No widespread reports of Captain Kidd's ghost bursting forth from any chest have been mentioned. Then again, there have been no more reported efforts to unearth it. However, in 2007, divers off the coast of Anguilla found something very interesting: the sunken Kada merchant. Though the wreckage included tons of scrap metal in the form of stolen cannons, it did not include any of the supposed 400,000 pounds of loot Kidd left behind.
This was nuts because it was only in, I want to say 18 to 20 feet of water, but where it was at, I guess people just hadn't looked there, and it was an extreme tide situation where it was very difficult to dive. And I think it was the Indiana University dive crew. They were like underwater archaeologists, which what a badass title. Also something you want to put in your dating profile, because that is a fucking cool
you're going to get laid all the time.
You're like, underwater archiologist, squirt, squirt, squirt emoji. They're like, swipe on that.
Yeah, swipe on that every time.
It's so wild, though. They found it, and they've been able to, certain stuff pull it up. Other stuff, they've cordoned it off, and now you can go dive it.
Dive it, yeah.
I'm not going to go
No, I'm
dive.
not. I will never, but
if you
someone else
can. Someone else can.
And they have little plaques and stuff that tell you what stuff is and everything. If you're into that, it's cool. And I am terrified of it.
No, I'm not trying to go under. And you told me recently that our theory of shitting in your wetsuit.
Oh, it's not a theory, it's fact.
Yes.
I found out it's fact.
Yes, someone confirmed that's how you do it.
A diver, yes. And they thought that's why we didn't want to dive, and we said that has nothing to do with what we're fine with that. Fine with it. We do it above water if we had to, but it's the tons of crushing water in the black abyss that really does it for us, and all this shit swimming around out there.
The goddamn megalodon.
You never know. You never know what can be out there.
Oh, and they also found the other ship that he sunk, the Adventure Galley, the first one that he sunk off of Madagascar. He was leaving his sea litter for us to dig up hundreds of years later, but they were able to find that one too.
If you could see what was under the ocean, man.
Fuck no.
That was...
Fuck no.
Sounds like I'm high, but I'm not. That's just... If you imagine all the shit that's sunk down there.
The only way I would
Atlantis.
It's there.
Maybe.
It could be. There could be portals down there. We've had this discussion.
We don't know.
It could be black holes. The only way I would go in the ocean, and the only part of the ocean I would want to go in would be not with him, because I just feel like he would be insufferable, but the type of the bubble submarines that James Cameron was using to look at Titanic stuff in advance of studying Titanic.
Yeah. You don't want to go down in the depths with James Cameron?
No, Bill Paxton can come, but James Cameron, no.
James Cameron's not allowed?
James Cameron's not invited.
What about Leo? I'll go in a bubble with Leo. Yeah.
He can go down with me too.
Yes, please. What's her name? Rose.
Kate Winslet.
I'll go down in a bubble with Kate Winslet. I bet she'd be fun. She's
that
British.
movie.
She's very proper.
She's a
we
delight.
Talk about the difference in British and American ghosts and other various things.
how many British ghosts have just stared at her and she
Billy
knew?
Zane?
Nope.
No, he'd be. I'd go down in a bubble with Billy Zane.
Well, then we have two different bubbles.
That's fine. We can have side by side bubbles.
Okay, it doesn't make any sense yet again, but I loved Leonardo DiCaprio. I would get obsessed with people when I was a kid. We've talked about this. I was obsessed with Robert Downey Jr. for a while. I was obsessed with Leo for a while.
They're both very easy people to be obsessed with.
Yeah, I would go through these phases, and one of them was the Leo phase. I went through it when Titanic came out, and Billy Zane was the bad guy in Titanic, and I just could not.
So that did it?
I was like,
I see. My brain goes to Billy Zane, Zoolander Billy Zane.
Oh,
so that's
he's
why
good at that. He's very
I'm
hot at
okay
that.
with Billy Zane. But also, is he okay? Have we heard from Billy Zane?
What's up with Billy Zane? What's Billy Zane been doing?
I mean, I have.
Billy, if you're listening, when we know you're listening,
Yeah.
when you hear this,
Please reach
Call
out
us.
to
Yeah,
me
call us.
personally.
We're worried
I
about
know
you.
you have my number. But for real though, he hasn't done anything in a while. We'll Google him in a
You know
second
what?
just to make sure everything's fine.
Kid with a heart of gold,
Starring Billy Zane. We have our lead.
And
we
then
have our lead. He's way too tall for a pirate back then, but that's fine.
Kid 2, Nocturnal Adventure with Billy Zane.
Oh.
He can do it. He's got boat experience.
Wait, so in your version, he survives.
Yes, he's living.
Because he plays that part in both. All right.
Time traveling pirate.
Oh, that's fun.
Boom.
That writes itself.
You know why? Black holes under the ocean. Whoosh, time portal. Bam! It all comes together. See, when you watch Chompy and the Girls, you're like, I could think of movie ideas like that. You just start freewheeling, freeballing.
In 2021, forensic geologist Scott Wolter took off in search of Captain Kidd's treasure on the History Channel show America Unearthed, The Hunt for Captain Kidd's Pirate Treasure. Yes, this was on the History Channel. It was sandwiched in between UFOs are real and the hunt for Sasquatch. Because that's all the History Channel is now. He chased leads from Florida to Boston to upstate New York and even to the famed Oak Island. Despite his diligent search, each time he came up empty-handed. The vast majority of Kidd's bounty remains unfound, and some of it may be just off New York's harbor under the feet of an American symbol.
Scott Wolter is a legitimate, I guess, scientist. He is now, though, on the History Channel train, which, if you've watched any of those shows, it's very much... So Captain Kidd, as he was being taken to the gallows, whispered these numbers to his wife. It was like 44, 10862, or whatever. 106.1, Kiss FM. I'm kidding. But he was whispering these numbers, and so the wife repeated them to others and said, hey, he said these numbers to me. People think it's Coordinates, which is an island in Maine. Then a family owned that area. Somebody came and rented a part of that island for this certain period of time in the late 1800s. Then later when they checked, there was a chest-sized hole in the cave that they rented the guy, and I'm like, you guys got. And then they found the guy burned the cabin down, and they found a piece of paper in there that was signed John Jacob Astor. So the other kind of conspiracy theory that, because it's a History Channel show they entertain, is that John Jacob Astor's vast fortune was actually some of William Kidd's treasure that he had sent kind of a spy to this island to go and get. So they go to this house where it was once the famed like Astor family house, and turns out they spent a lot of the money in this family, and so it's a gal lives there. She handles the house affairs on her own, and Scott Wolter comes up to her and it was like, so with all this evidence, do you think that your family got the money from William Kidd? And she
Before
just goes,
you say anything, this woman has an opportunity. Right now it's Schrodinger's treasure. She can either set Scott up for success or dash his dreams. And we all know what she's going to do.
she just takes a minute and goes, no. And it's just the way they set it up. They're like, it's tight on him.
They
tight
were
on her.
hoping for a yes.
And she goes, no. And he goes, so we decided to keep looking. And then at the end of it, he
Bless
goes to
his
Florida.
heart.
He goes to Maine. He goes to Oak Island. At the end of it, he was like, well, I guess we'll never know. I'm like, yeah, I edited this together.
Yeah.
To be fair, I watched it, though, so it was still interesting to watch him on the hunt for it. But, yeah, at the end, Paris had kind of dozed off and woke up and was like, did they find it? I was like, no. I'm sorry.
They never do. There's how many seasons of Oak Island? Like 27 at this point.
The
People
Lagunas.
keep watching it. They keep renewing it.
But
this
that's
is going to
one
be
of-
the year.
They do think that it could be that Oak Island really is that. The Laginas hold on to hope, and other people too want to get a hold of that part because they're like, no, it was right on this route that he would have taken or whatever. But
It's fun to think about.
It is.
I'm
It's an
surprised
obsession.
more people aren't out looking for it.
well, all you
Yeah.
have your marching orders.
We each get a shovel.
we just
We
asked
each
for-
take a swath of land around the Statue of Liberty. Eventually, we'll find it.
They can't stop us. No,
Don't
they can. They will.
yeah.
They will.
Well, they can. Then they will. I'm sure that that's not allowed. We
Yeah.
will all be arrested.
Yeah. Immediately.
Although she is now more associated with immigration, the Statue of Liberty was originally a symbol of ending slavery. In recent years, Lady Liberty, with her iconic crown and torch, has been transformed to draw attention to issues in immigration reform, racial equality, LGBTQ rights, and the rights of people living with disabilities. Her image has been recycled, reimagined, and reshaped as artists question what liberty and freedom really mean in an evolving society. Still, she remains unmoving, guarding the harbor and possibly the treasure of the famous pirate captain. So what do we think? You think it's there?
Yeah, because they built so much over it. After the
No one can ever get to it now.
That's what it is. I think that's the irony is that the Gibbs Carpenter, their expedition failed, and I don't know why they didn't just go back. I guess they ran out of
like
money
a
for.
million times. Why wouldn't you go back? Why wouldn't the commander go back? Everybody should go back.
You practice magic.
What a sentence that was.
It's true though, but I don't know can you reuse a witch hazel
I would
divining
like
rod?
to define, I would like to clarify, we don't mean like a rabbit out of a hat magic.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry to disappoint you. They're
I
like,
would like to practice that magic, though. That sounds fun. I mean, if someone had already told me a box was here and a demon came out, I'm just going to go back to where they saw that and dig that box up.
that's true because the demon is gone.
Even if it's not, you already know what you're getting yourself into.
That's
And you
true.
know there's a box there.
And you bring the British guy along and be like, all right, fight the demon. I'll get the money and we'll meet up afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't think you need any kind of magic. That's just common sense. Somebody already did all the hard work for you.
It's true. They already found it. Yeah, and then I think they just built up over it. So, once that's built on top of it, I don't think, absent like a jackhammer, I don't think you're going to like...
I don't think
get
you're
down
getting to
to
it.
it,
But
no.
if he spread it out amongst other areas,
There are others.
there's a good chance it's still out there.
I think not all of it is at Liberty Island. I'm sure there is some of it. And also, you can only fit so much in a chest. So there's probably other chests
That is
everywhere.
true.
Hey.
What episode did we do recently where we talked about treasure and how there's just in Texas alone, like
Austin.
Moon Tower?
A moon tower, yeah.
Yeah, but how many chests of treasures are buried? It was something crazy.
No, we said something like 800,000 spots of buried treasure.
I'll find it.
Stretch.
Banter.
Yeah, so we did a show in Austin, and we talked about another buried treasure that is buried around the Austin area. We tried to go find it on our own with...
We tried for 2 seconds.
tried to find it on our own.
It was very hot, and we did
too
not
hot.
want
It was
to
too
do
hot.
it. Yeah.
But I did borrow a metal detector from one of our comedy friends.
Yeah.
Who, of course, has a metal detector. You just
Yes.
send out a group text to the comedians, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I got one. Yeah. You got his? Oh, it's fine. Okay, never mind." Because you got to pay the rent somehow. So we used that. I thought it was broken, but then I stuck it down into a recycling bin, and it beeped. So it was working. And I just found some nitrous cans in a creek
Yeah.
bed. So not treasure, unless depends on how you define it. So.
Well, I found what we were looking for. Thank you, Heather. That was
welcome.
great.
Yeah, we got a stretcher.
An estimated $340 million in treasures buried across just Texas. So if you think about how much is buried around just the United States, why is anyone working? Just go get a shovel and a metal detector and see what you can find.
Get you a headlamp. Let's get a big old shovel.
Yeah, go all in. Yes.
So it sounds like the Laginas are not too far off base with what they're doing.
I mean, they have, yes. Well, I think they've made their own treasure by a 23-season History Channel show. I don't think they need to find any gold now. They're set for life. But yes, I think they do it for the passion, not because they actually need the money.
Also that, yeah. And the love and the brotherly love they find along the way.
It's very sweet, yeah.
No, I do think you're right. It's spread out, and even if it's not Captain Kidd's treasure, there could be money buried in whatever. So what we're saying is, get you a shovel.
get you a headlamp
And get to digging.
Yeah, get to digging. Yeah, I definitely. That's a fun thing to think about. Buried treasure, and it's like the Laguna showed us. It's not just kids that think that's fun. You take that, then you two rich white men. You just go buy your own island. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. So that's the real American dream.
Yeah, and then you get to
As
play.
we all know. Yes. Well, if you've been to a live show, while this is the end of our episode, it is not the end of the show. We do a little bit called Judge Christie to close out the show. If you are a Patreon member, first, thank you so very much from the bottom of our hearts. You're familiar with this because we do it on there. But so what we're going to ask for in a minute is for you to shout out if you have one. I have a grievance, and then someone will bring you a microphone. The only rule is no bummers, and keep it short and sweet because we like to get to as many as we can. Just a couple sentences, and if we need more info, we'll pull it out of you. Heather likes to get us started with one of her own, and these should just be minor grievances. They can be with somebody that's here or not here, society, or whatever. I will rule on it. My rulings are final. They cannot be appealed, and my jurisdiction is global. So
It's permanent.
I have my gavel right here. It's engraved. My father-in-law gave this to me.
Shout out George Brown.
It says Judge Christie, Precinct 13, Sinisterhood. Yes. Oh, and this is Baby.
Oh yeah, we haven't introduced
Everyone's been wanting to meet Baby. Here's Baby and Baby's friends that we got from a listener not too long ago too. All right, Heather, what is your grievance this evening?
I don't think we've discussed this. Have we discussed the case of the banana in my home?
No.
Okay, there we go. I think it's no secret.
Oh, yes, but I know what you're going to say, and I haven't ruled on this before. So
Okay,
yes,
just
we
making
can
sure
do
you haven't ruled on it. I don't really eat a lot of fruit. I will because I know it's good for my potassium to eat bananas. But when I eat bananas, I eat them the correct way, which is where you pinch off the part at the bottom that's got a little seed on it, and then you peel it down. One of the number one all-time things I hate about bananas is if you peel it the other way, the wrong way, with the stem, and you pull it down, you get a bunch of banana strings.
Mm-hmm.
I hate banana strings. I hate them so much to the point that I will just not eat the rest of the banana and just shut it down. I hate it. Paris loves bananas. He eats them the stringy wrong way. I tried to teach him how to turn it the other way, pinch the seed, and peel it off, and he won't do it the right way.
What makes it, besides just your opinion, what makes this the right way?
First of all, it's more efficient.
Because may I say, I tried your way and I still got strings.
No, do you twist the little seed at the end?
I don't think it's called a seed.
What's the end of the banana?
Is that bananas grow on trees? I don't know if that matters, but I feel like it's not called the top.
The brown nugget at the end that's not the stem.
So you have the stem part that most people would peel from, and then down here is the little brown nubbin.
The brown tip,
You
yes.
flip it over.
Flip the script,
and
baby.
Peel nubbin down.
Correct, yes, that is the correct way.
Yes.
So
what made you think this is... Did you watch a YouTube video? Like, how did you learn of this?
Oh, I don't know. The original banana eaters, primates.
Oh, is that how they do it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I would trust a primate.
So that was my argument. Paris said it doesn't make any sense because you need the stem to start the peel. I disagree.
You don't.
You don't. Tump, twist, peel, done. It's so easy. No strings, no muss, no fuss. It is the correct way to peel a banana. I rest my case.
So your grievance is he doesn't do it that way?
And society doesn't do it that way. And they don't, people in schools and parents at home don't teach their children to do it the right way. You're setting them
Run
up.
for your school board, and this is how, and this is what kids should really be learning. Yeah.
They were like, we need to reallocate a budget for textbooks. And I'm like, I'm actually here on the banana platform. And they were like, oh, we don't actually teach them.
I have tried it because you told me that, but I still got stringy, so maybe I'm not doing it correctly. So I will try it again.
So my argument, I'm here, Your Honor, and I'm seeking what is called a declaratory judgment.
Oh.
Where I asked the court, I have no other party. I'm not against anyone except the world who's wrong on this. I'm seeking a declaratory judgment that the correct way to peel a banana is nub inside first and then the stem at the bottom and the little brown nugget at the top.
I don't know if this is how courtrooms work, but may I counter?
For sure. You can ask questions in a declaratory judgment. I have to prove my case.
I guess it's not really a counter as much as I will rule in favor of that if we can also rule in favor of what I think is the correct way to eat something.
What thing?
Cupcakes.
Oh, yeah. Sandwich style.
You got to take the stump off the bottom. You flip it over. You smash it on the icing. Now you got a sandwich. Guess who's not getting icing all over their face? It's perfect. And you get cake and icing in each bite.
A boat captain taught me that many years ago. A sea dog captain.
Was it Captain Kidd?
It was Captain Cat.
Oh, well, there you go. So, yes, I will rule in it is now declared. Bananas are from the bottom, and cupcakes have to be twisted and tumped over on the top. And that's how they will all be consumed here, henceforth, and hereto.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So that's the idea. So if you have a grievance, please shout out, I have a grievance. I have a grievance. Oh, I saw hands here first. There, and just tell us your names and your name and pronouns,
and then
please.
right. Left and then right. Yeah, there's on my left. So this here. Yeah, you. Yeah,
Hi.
hand in the air.
Hello.
Stand up.
You're good.
Oh my God, there's so many people. Hi.
That's fine.
everybody.
Just
What's
look
your-
at
just look
All
at
right.
us. Make
Laser
eye contact.
focused. Hello.
What's your name and
I'm
pronouns?
Lauren, she, her.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi. All right. So, I don't even know where to start. I'm so sorry. All right. So.
You're a North Star?
Talk in the microphone.
I don't know where to start.
Oh, I thought you said you were
So,
a North Star, and I
I
was
am
like,
a
I don't know
North
what that
Star.
is, but it sounds cool.
It's very lovely. So I quit drinking 9 years ago, almost.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you.
Congrats.
And randomly, the night that I stopped drinking, ran into this dude from this hardcore band. His name is Jimmy Gestapo. He's like a New York hardcore band guy.
Jimmy Gestapo?
Yes,
Fuck
right?
yeah.
Right?
That's a guy. That's a guy.
exactly
My
what
last-
he's named.
My last drunk was at Jimmy Gestapo, so that's pretty badass. But so he's
Oh,
friends.
Flag Anthem? Is that what did you say?
I said, so that's pretty badass.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I
no.
talk too fast, and I'm from New Jersey, and it's just all kinds of.
Yeah, and you're a North Star. So.
And I am a North Star. So, he is friends with someone named Lars from a band called Rancid. They're one of my favorite bands. We called him. I left a super unhinged voicemail message, and then never thought about it again. And a couple weeks ago.
This was 9 years ago.
9 years ago,
Okay.
I called Lars from Rancid and left a very unhinged message on his voicemail. So a couple weeks ago, Lars from Rancid was touring at this little club in Jersey. My husband and I went and saw him, and during the show, he said that he was sober, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I called him during my last drunk, hung out afterwards to try to meet him and get backstage, and was able to. My husband voluntarily stayed with me the whole time, did not, whatever. I didn't tell him that he had to stay. He stayed with me. We got to meet Lars. I got to tell him my story. He was not as impressed as I thought he would be, but that is besides the point.
Never meet your heroes.
This is a disappointment.
Right?
Anyway, if you have VIP, please stick around after the show.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And then my husband was like, oh my God, I love you so much. Let's get a picture, blah, 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 whatever. So he fanboyed over Lars super hard. Afterwards, here's the grievance.
Okay.
My husband called me creepy for waiting to meet him. And regardless of whether or not I was, that's besides the point, he benefited.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Your creepiness served him.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
exactly.
He rode your creepy coattails to get
He
his
sure
own
did.
picture.
I said, you didn't have
with
to
Lars
stay.
to
You could have gone
Handshakesville.
and waited in the car. You could have hung out on your phone. You could have gone outside. You could have gone to the.
I don't think it's creepy. I think I'm sorry Lars wasn't as impressed, but I think that's cool that it all came full circle and everything for you.
Yeah,
And that's
right?
meaningful. I'm sure it was nice for him to hear, even if he didn't seem impressed. Maybe he was tired from singing. The creepy.
He's also this like cool punk rock dude, whatever. So like I don't
I
think he would
think
have,
or he
jumped
was
up and down.
tired from singing.
Probably
never know.
tired from singing.
I feel like it's not just like a hey, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably like kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That
There's a
takes
lot.
it out
There
of
was
you.
there was
He's
a
not
lot
a
of
crooner.
Yeah,
there
a
was-
band like Rancid's not like fly me to the moon. So
No.
quick
Lars doesn't sing ballads.
I think if you would have brought a recording of the answering machine message and been like, I want to
That
play
would
this
have
for
been
you.
creepy.
Put your
Yes.
hands in my hands and I'm going to play this for you. Then yeah, that's like
That's
creepy.
creepy.
I'm more focused on the part where I was like, oh my God, I don't drink anymore, and I know
No.
you don't either. And I called you during my last drunk. Isn't that wild? And he was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Ah.
You know, like,
Pretty cool.
What is your grievance? Is this another declaratory judgment where I just need to declare that you were not creepy?
yes, please.
I do not think you were creepy.
Thank you.
And I think your husband should thank. Is he here?
He is not here.
Okay, well
but
then
he is
fuck
home.
him.
He's
And-
but wait, he's home with our 3-year-old though.
Oh,
So,
okay. Then
yeah.
I take back my fuck. He's home with
I mean,
the kid.
but still
That's
a little
fine.
bit. Fuck him.
But he should tell you thank you,
Okay,
and also for giving birth to your beautiful child.
Thank you.
Also,
All right.
keep it creepy. Keep it creepy.
Yes,
All right,
always
grievance.
keep it creepy. Okay, who else has a grievance?
There was one. There was one here. There was two
Oh,
at the same time, and
Heather,
I may have promised.
Heather saw one last time.
preemptively
let's
promised.
Just pass it on over.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and pronouns?
Jake, he, him.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
All right, so I have a grievance with my lovely wife over here,
Oh, what's your lovely wife's name?
Jen.
Jen and Jake.
Yeah.
That's fun. J and J.
That's
So-
a couple that you always invite to a dinner
Jen and
party.
Jake.
Jen and
yeah.
Jake. You
Are
gotta have
Jen and Jake coming? Yeah, Jen and
I'm
Jake.
not
will
going
be
if Jen
there.
and
Yeah,
Jake are
Jen and
going.
Jake are coming.
We're very insufferable. Our website for our wedding was Jen and Jake cut the cake.
That's cute.
That's
I
great.
like that.
That is
That's
something.
cute.
But nonetheless, pandemic, everything gets kind of weird. You guys
Yeah.
are home. You're spending a lot of time with each other and trying new hobbies. So my wife took on pickling her own vegetables.
What?
Pickling her own
Pickling.
vegetables.
Okay, I thought you said giggling, and I did not know what that was. Pickling her own vegetables. That sounds very homestead.
Wholesome.
Yeah,
Wholesome, yeah.
except it ended up with 2 instances of poisoning.
Oh my.
Did you know you can call poison control? You can call. They're really.
Yeah, Heather's
They'll
got the
tell you.
number if you need to call.
I'll tell you.
What was being used to pickle these things?
Okay, so again, pandemic, supply chain severely impacted. So I was trying to make my aftershave last a little bit longer. So I was.
Jake, this is going a weird way right now.
Sorry, just wait.
It
So I-
wasn't like we needed hydrochloric acid for whatever. It's like it was my aftershave. So it was like.
So I used a jar that she then used to pickle. And,
Just wait.
and-
The defense has a chance, does she not?
Yeah.
you
We'll
do.
counter argument. Go on, Jake. Continue.
well, I'm not arguing the mens rea here. The point is she poisoned me.
Love this.
Are you a
saying
lawyer?
This is a per se poisoning.
Are
This
you
is
an
a-
No,
attorney?
my father is.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had this discussion many
So
times.
you're saying that poisoning, inadvertent poisoning, should be considered a strict liability offense?
Yeah, I would argue the negligence of it.
It's up to the judge, Your Honor. That's for you to determine whether you think that there had to be an intent for there to be liability
So
for the
you
poisoning.
dumped a bunch of shaving cream into a mason jar
Aftershave.
Aftershave.
But I mean, if you're canning something like pickles that smells like vinegar, and you open a jar and it smells like fucking soap, like, are you gonna fill it up?
But what? I don't understand how your aftershave in the mason jar was helping you.
I was cutting it with alcohol, but that we're getting into this.
Okay. No, I think you're burying the lead, Jake, is what I think.
You were making moonshine aftershave
That's what it sounds like.
in the desperate days of the pandemic.
I was
One
just
day
trying-
you'll tell
trying to
your
get by.
forebears, like, listen, I had to moonshine my own.
I couldn't shave but once a month.
I had to bootleg it.
Supplies were dry.
We all got poisoned.
So she insisted I try the pickles, and immediately something tasted off, and we
But
figured
familiar?
out what happened. We move on. And
We
she-
move on. I felt like there was a fight. That
You
y'all
yada
were just yada yadaing right over, but okay.
And she made pickled carrots the next time.
Okay.
And so she wanted to hot water can them, but she didn't have enough carrots for the last can. So she said, eat that one first.
Okay.
And so I eat it, and we discovered that it's filled with moldy garlic.
Filled is aggressive.
Yikes. Was this from the aftershave?
No, she
So
just
this-
didn't preserve it. But
Are you putting your wife on blast with her preserving skills?
Took a turn.
But my grievance is simple. It's
What's
just
the
that
grievance?
She wants me to keep trying the pickles.
Fool me once. Shame on you.
That sounds like a you problem.
And I feel
Jake.
like after 2 pickle poisonings, I can
Well,
opt
then you
out.
shouldn't risk it on a third, should you?
Are the pickled items just that good you can't stop yourself? Or do you feel pressured and like you're not a supportive husband for not putting your guts at risk for your lady's happiness?
I plead the fifth.
All right.
Well, if you plead the fifth, then I'm ruling in favor of Jen. Because you don't have a case now. Also, Jen,
Can I give a slight bit of context?
one sentence.
Okay. First
Like a tweet.
instance,
It has to be 140 characters.
First instance, why would you not clean the jar before putting it back with the clean jars that I used to can?
You put a dirty jar back with you are the cause. You're the cause of the poisoning.
Yeah.
It was you. She
Yeah.
may have actually poisoned you, but you're the proximate cause of your own poisoning.
Second
Yeah.
instance, I asked him to try from the jar that was not fully preserved in the water bath, knowing that there was a piece of blue garlic in that jar.
He
and
knew?
I said, hey, just a heads up, there's a piece of blue garlic in there. Maybe don't eat that.
So you knew.
And he knew, and he ate it anyway.
Wow.
And then
Bold.
wants to tell me that I poisoned him twice.
That one is, Your Honor, one of
Jake,
your...
this is like when someone takes a case to Judge Judy and then very quickly you're like, that was a mistake. I'm the idiot here.
But you're a big fan of the statute of fucketh aroundeth and founding out.
yeah,
and
I think you
that's what-
fucked around and found out, Jake, and twice. So don't make it a third time, because that's on you. And it sounds like Jen's getting better at just hiding the poison flavor. So maybe not risk it.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, and we got a P.O. box. Send us some of those canned goods. The non-poisoned ones, though.
All right.
I like a good pickled thing. Green glasses up front. I had their hand up. Like the glasses.
Thank you. They're from online.
Cool. Thank you.
Great store. I shop there a lot.
I love online. I get all my
Familiar.
food and my clothes, a lot of stuff from online.
So I had a grievance I couldn't share, but I posted it in the Patreon group.
Thank you for being a patron.
Thank you.
Thanks. And then the second grievance I have is that my husband and I are not allowed to be on a submarine at the same time.
Because
For you're worried about like contingency planning in life, like the
Well-
president and the vice president.
I mean, you would think that, but we don't have children. So early in our marriage, he was like, you should watch Lost. It's really good.
It is. It's a good show.
Meh.
Oh.
So
Go on.
you know the episode where the man and his wife were trapped on the submarine and she was trapped and she couldn't get out, and
It's a great episode.
her husband drowns with her, right?
Not Charlie's boat.
So my husband told me he would never drown with me and that I would just have to die alone.
Whoa.
This is another burying the lead.
So it doesn't have anything to do with like fear or the size of the submarine you bought or like
No.
any of that. It's just like, oh no, he said that he would abandon me.
So let me
Ocean.
continue. So we agreed that we would never be on a submarine together, but at the time my best friend was the curator of a submarine.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you ever have the opportunity to go on a submarine? But I guess it weirdly came up a lot.
It came up a
You
lot.
weirdly had a lot of opportunities to go on a submarine.
Was the curator of a submarine?
She was the USS Razorback in Little Rock.
Well, there you go.
All right.
So does it move around?
No, it stays stationary.
Oh, okay.
But Boy
You
Scouts Boy Scouts can camp on it if they would like to.
Only Boy Scouts.
So your grievance is that if the shit went down on a submarine and water starts flowing in, you're leaving. And you're not gonna save her. Is that what the issue is?
He is not gonna save me.
Oh God.
Well, I think we have to hear from him.
So specifically in this scene in Lost, she is trapped and cannot get off the submarine while
I'm already ruling in your favor because you're a fan of Lost.
While
I'll
it
have you know.
slowly fills up with water, and she goes, "Would you stay with me till I die?" And I immediately said, "No, I would leave."
May I ask a clarifying question? Time out. From you, Your Honor. So the woman's in the sub.
They're both in the sub, but they're on opposite sides of the door.
Okay. All right. There it is. I told you.
I thought they were on opposite sides of the door.
He's trying to pull the thing off of her. So here's my true grievance. He should have just lied. Because that's
your husband should have lied.
And he should have said, yes, I would save you.
You want your husband to lie?
I mean,
well, that's opening a whole Pandora's box of shit, my friend. First, if you give him permission to lie about that, yeah, it's a slippery slope. I appreciate your honesty. You're like, no, I'm saving myself. What, are we both gonna die? If you're guaranteed to die, then me being here to watch your last breath isn't gonna change that. In fact, it'll probably scar you, because you're gonna be out there living your life, probably get remarried.
You share the story. You go on a submarine safety lecture circuit, do a TED talk about submarine safety and need for reform. He could change lives, and you want him to waste his life sucking down ocean water so you can feel better about yourself? Think of all the lives he would save on the lecture circuit.
But you wouldn't be anymore because you'd be dead.
We're all going to die.
So then you'd find a new life, just like they all found a new life on that island,
With her insurance money from her death, I would open a foundation for submarine safety.
That's very nice.
There it is. That's the answer.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you. That's the correct
Final
answer.
ruling, you get to open a charity with her insurance money. I like it very much.
All right.
Who else has a grievance? I think there's one over. Oh, yes. We haven't heard from this side of the room. Right up front. You guys just get to look at our. Oh, nope. It's coming. It's coming. You're also very close, so we can hear you.
But for the recording
you get
purposes.
The best shot. You're just staring at my ass all night. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So my name's Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
So my grievance is years ago. I was at my friend's and I had to use the bathroom, but in his apartment, he didn't want anyone going number 2 in the apartment. You had to go downstairs, but that's not even
go
the grievance.
downstairs to someone else's apartment?
No, to the lobby.
To the lobby?
Yeah.
A shared bathroom?
Yeah, because they had like a pool.
I'll tell you right now, I'd never go over to his house. I'd cut him out of my friend circle right then and there.
So
it's not a good friend.
I go into the women's room, and there's a roach. So I leave. So I go in the men's room, and I find a watch. Like, really expensive. I think it was a fossil.
Damn. That was
this took
a turn from the women's room.
Right?
Yeah.
So I find the watch, and I bring it upstairs, and I go,
order in the court.
Listen, I found this watch. Let's put some flyers up, but in like a month, can I have it if no one claims it? He goes, first things out of his mouth was, why were you in the men's room then? I was like, there was a roach in the women's room. Like, I'm going in the men's room.
Why am I in the lobby at all?
Yeah, I'm like, maybe if I went to the bathroom up here, it'd be a different story.
First of all.
So my grievance was that after a month, no one claimed it, and he still said no.
How does he?
Like, what?
Okay.
Is he holding the watch in escrow?
Where's the watch?
Now, eventually, he claims, a year later, like 2 years later, I asked him about it. He goes, the owner said that they had proof of purchase, so I gave it to them. My grievance is that it was a month, 2 months, and he was like, no, I'm still waiting to hear back. So
I hate this person.
Yeah, he sucks. He's a bad friend.
For several reasons. But I would say, did you feel compelled to give him the watch because he lived in the building?
Yeah, because I live about 45 minutes from him, but I felt like it was the right thing to do.
Well, that's very kind of you. You're a nice person.
Because if I lost
that deserves
my watch,
better friends, let you do whatever you need to do in the bathroom in their apartment. What is he shits in his own house, right?
Yes.
Oh.
I shit in there too.
You've shit in there?
Yeah, I said fuck. Sorry, I said.
You said fuck it. You can cuss. We're all adults.
Shit in your bathroom. Get over it. You can go lobby.
What is he gonna do? Stop you? I dare you. Come in here. Try. Please try.
Also, once you flushed it, what's he gonna? It's gone. It's the city's problem.
Evidence
now.
is gone. I've destroyed the evidence. You can't do anything about it.
I have a question. Has he given? It's not relevant, but I want to ask it. Has he given a reason why he doesn't want you to poop there? Is it like plumbing problems, or he's just fussy?
I think he's okay if he blows up his own bathroom.
Yeah.
But I guess he doesn't want to deal with someone else's stink.
That ain't right.
Yeah, he's gonna die alone. So, I mean, at least that might be comforting. But I think you, after 2 months, you should have gotten the watch. He should have given you the watch. Yeah.
You're
that's
But
right.
now you've learned if you find something,
I'm keeping
finders
it.
keepers.
That's
I mean, you
mine.
can put up your own flyers if that makes you feel better, but just put your info on there. Then you're the one in control.
That's true, but I didn't want to be like, why is your number in the lobby? What are you doing?
Oh, be like, why can't I shit in your house? Don't ask me questions. Don't ask me questions. Yeah, we all got a lot of questions here, buddy. All right? Yeah, no, he's not here, is he?
No.
Okay, I assumed not. But I was going to be really happy if he was. Are you still friends?
Yes, not best friends like we were.
Oh,
but we are still friends.
Did the watch do it?
The watch actually. How long did we get in a fight for? Me and him. It was like almost a year for that stupid watch.
Wow.
Like I stopped talking. I mean, there was other reasons too, but that was one of the reasons.
It's never just the watch.
Why.
It was a build up to the watch.
I think because we're both Tauruses, so we're both stubborn.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want the watch, and he's like, no, you can't have the watch.
Well,
so
you all learned a lot about yourselves. And somebody got a watch. Probably not the actual owner.
Probably not.
just somebody that wanted the watch. Yes, I think you should have got the watch. And the final ruling is only be friends with people that let you go to the bathroom in their house.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to go to another location
It's a good friend.
to do that. I would never.
yeah, no, she made sure on purpose to do that after I told her.
Oh, good.
Revenge
Who,
dump.
oh, over here.
Yes, you
you're
have
wearing
one
a Donna Laser shirt.
Oh, nice.
Love that. We have a grievance on the other side of the room. Give it up for Phoenix, everyone. Woo!
Amazing.
Phoenix is a delight.
And the best.
Very on top of everything. Hello, what is your name?
Hello, I'm Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
She, her. So my grievance is with my husband, who is right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks very uncomfortable.
Yep. We talked about this in the car. So my husband insists that I use bath mats wrong.
We had a bath mat grievance 2 nights ago.
No, in Nashville.
There's a lot of bath mat hot
Good.
takes.
I'm glad you have experience with this issue.
Well, there's
Yes,
prior
I have
precedent.
ruled on this before, but perhaps your case is a bit different.
There's prior precedent.
Yeah, so according to my husband, you should not be stepping on the bath mat while any part of you is still wet.
This was
a
exactly
grievance.
what the Nashville grievance was.
You should stand in the shower and clean yourself with the towel so you are fully dry, and then the bath mat, he'll be very mad if I don't
Okay,
say
everybody,
this.
I
Order
know
the
that
court.
this is a very impassioned topic. We've already established that. Lines have been drawn, but we have to hear Nicole.
He made me promise that I would clarify that this is why, because the bath mat is a warm, dry place to put your dry feet afterwards.
Okay,
So.
here's what happened in the last one. The woman did not want her partner to step on the bath mat because then when she walked in to go to the bathroom, she was barefoot, she had to step on a wet that's what I said. You hang it up after. So you get out, you dry off, and then you hang it over the edge of the tub so it dries out, and then you only use it when you need to get in and out of the bathtub.
Solution.
We don't even have that problem.
What's that?
I said we don't even have that problem. You don't have to step on the bath mat when you come in the bathroom.
You don't in a what bathroom?
So like the bath mat is like right by the tub. So if you had to use the toilet, you don't have to step on the bath mat.
Yeah, so it can just... Can we talk for a second?
Yeah,
Sir,
the bath
you and
mat's
I?
just minding its own business. He can,
So you want to be completely dried off and then have the warmth of the soft, plushy bath mat under your feet when you step out?
Yes.
I understand that. But it's a lot to dry off in a tub.
I got too
you
many
can
nooks.
Slip around.
Too many crannies. Too much. It's not going to all be dry. I'll be in there 30 minutes. Plus, you have the steam already bearing down on you.
Been doing it for 20 plus years. I ain't got an issue.
Damn.
I think we're built. I think you and I are built a little different, honey.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
if your relationship has survived thus far with the 20-year, then I think you can probably survive longer. But another solution, his and hers bath mats. You can each have your own bath mat, and then you can do whatever you want with each one.
Funk it up or not?
Yeah. Put a like teenagers in their room. Just put a line of tape down the middle of the bath mat. One of you has one side, and the other has the other. Sound good?
Solution.
There we go.
I suppose.
One more? I think so.
When do we start?
7:30. All right, we have time for one more?
Yeah, one more.
Oh, in
this
the back.
guy. We got to hear from this guy. I hope it's Jimmy Falducci or whatever you said. That guy's name.
Sapo. Whoever was yelling.
Turns out I'm this
Whoever
guy.
this guy is. There's probably
Turns out
a lot.
I'm this guy.
Are you that guy? What's your name?
I'm that guy. I'm Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi. My partner Taylor absolutely loves your podcast. I love you guys because she laughs like crazy around the house all the time listening to you.
Thank you.
Got her through the pandemic, but I have a bit of an issue here, and I'm hoping that as people who are not from New York, that you could sort of have a fresh perspective on this.
Okay.
So before the pandemic, we'd be walking down Broadway, as you do in New York or down any street, and you'd have all these flyers, thrust in your face, and in order to sort of get through about your day, you'd have to take the flyers or tell the person no and tell them no again or run away.
These
or
are
something.
flyers for like restaurants and stuff?
Oh God, it's everything. I think people here know, right? And so I sort of felt like I found the solution of all solutions here, and I just started taking the flyer quickly, and then I'd give it to the next guy, for the next restaurant.
Wait, you give your flyer to the next flyer guy?
Yeah, because there's like a row of people
That's
trying
fun.
to sell you shit, right?
Yeah.
And I figure it's good for everyone because then the people behind me are like, oh yeah, let's do that, and it's sort of working great.
Be the change you want to see.
Thank you. I think I'm the champ here, right? And please pass this on. But the thing is, my girlfriend Taylor, she's wonderful. She loves this, right? Because she doesn't like conflict, and I'm gonna get bashed in the head later for this. But the reality is that she loved that whenever it was before the pandemic, and then it's after the pandemic, and we're hanging out with her friends, and I take the flyer, and she coldly looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?" And she just turns, she flips. All of a sudden, it's the worst creepy thing in the world that I would, like a serial killer, take one flyer and hand it to the next guy. And I'm just sitting here
so hurt by
pick
this.
a lane, I
Is
feel like
Taylor
I'm dodging
here?
a bullet.
Is Taylor here?
Taylor's right here, and she's...
Are you calling a Taylor?
Taylor.
Taylor.
No, please. Can we
Taylor.
talk to Taylor?
Sure.
Oh, you don't want us to. I can hear it in your voice.
Sure.
I'll just preface this that I have no recollection of this happening.
Oh. Interesting defense, Taylor.
But do you, in the moment, are you saying you don't recall being cold and disgusted, or you
That's on
don't
you.
recall being
Disgusted.
thoroughly enjoying it before the pandemic?
Being cold and disgusted.
Oh,
But-
okay. So if he were to do it tonight, leaving here, you'd be like, hey, yeah, do that.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
What a fun idea.
yeah, I'd probably support it now, but I think maybe it was like a germ issue. I don't know.
Oh, you were germ conscious.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Like, listen.
in the
know.
interest of surviving the night, I'm just gonna say, okay. Thank you, friendly out-of-state people,
I
for
think-
accommodating my
No,
grievance.
no worries. My solution.
I think it's a fun bit to just take it and give it to, because then they're like, what?
You know,
and you're like, I don't know.
the other thing
You
is
tell
that-
me, why are y'all handing me shit? I'm just handing it back.
Well,
and
other
then if
thing-
it catches on, then it just becomes like this fun, wacky
created a
game
chain.
you get to
But
play
here's
up and down the
thing,
street.
Too, right? Is like during the pandemic and just after, like restaurants are struggling, right? And so
Yeah.
it's important that we get them as many
You're helping
customers
the
as possible.
economy. Yeah.
And who is the one type of person that's not ever going to get a restaurant flyer? Well, it's the people that are handing out the restaurant flyers.
That's
So-
true.
Genius.
It's like, yeah, you can't, if you're a hairstylist, don't cut your own hair. You gotta find somebody else to do it.
Thank you.
Man, you got
Thank
20/20 vision. The rest of us are wearing bifocals.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
You're a
that's
visionary.
Genius. That's genius.
You're a visionary, and do it tonight. Do it tonight, Taylor. Support him. Support him. Do it too, Taylor.
You
In
have
fact,
to.
everybody do it. If everybody does it, I bet somewhere tomorrow there's a headline. It might be a tiny one. It's not going to be above the fold, but somewhere there'll be a little bitty blurb that like 200 people on Broadway were just like willy-nilly handing flyers back and forth to one another.
Spontaneous
It's like a
flyer
flash
chain
mob.
begins. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
spontaneous.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
And thank you to all of you that came
Thank
out
you for
tonight.
coming.
You guys have been so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We love you.
Thank you so much to City Winery. They have been awesome to us, so please be awesome to them.
Please.
If you are VIP, just stay seated and they'll tell you what to do. If this is the end of the road for you tonight, thank you again.
We're going to do our
we
video.
we gotta get a video. Scream!
Yeah!
As always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy.
Thank you, guys! Thank you! Have a great night!
We love providing Sinisterhood to you at no cost, so if you like what you hear, consider supporting the show by donating to our Patreon. We're a small operation, creating the show for you by researching, writing, recording, and producing it ourselves. Any amount is sincerely appreciated and helps offset the cost of making and hosting the show.
As a thank you, you'll also get some sweet perks like ad-free episodes, a Sinisterhood sticker, membership to our exclusive Patreon Facebook group for those rolling the airwaves and getting into it tier, a special shout-out on the show, a monthly bonus mini-sode. This month is the AI cryptid Loab. It's very disturbing looking.
Which
and
has sent us all down a AI rabbit hole that is
Honestly-
now involving Ella having us print out pictures at Walgreens that have been created with this AI generator from stuff she wants to see.
I'm now like a subscriber to an AI image generator because I generated so many. I burned through my free trial in like 20 minutes. So
it's pretty incredible.
We'll post those on the Patreon
Yes,
too for you to see all of our creations. You also get Patreon exclusive video and audio content, including Am I the Asshole, relationship advice, Judge Christie, Dear Sinister, true crime headlines, and so much more. Plus, patrons in the Getting Into It tier are also able to vote on a bonus content segment each month that they would like to see us live stream. This month, we are live streaming Thursday, September 29th at 8 p.m. Central.
You also have the fun perk of access to our Discord server, where you can connect with other fans in real time and discuss the latest in true crime, share personal ghost stories, or just post adorable pictures of your pets. We hop on occasionally, and we host monthly Q&As on Crowdcast, where you can ask us all your burning questions. This month's is Tuesday, September 27th at 8 p.m. Central. They're maybe the most fun thing we do all month. So it's for real a hoot and a holler. So join us, please. It's so much fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I've eaten all the monster cereal from last month.
That's okay.
It's gone.
It's honestly, that's good. I'm
It's
glad.
probably for the best. For patrons not in the U.S., you have the option to pay in pounds or euros, saving you the cost of the conversion fee. Annual memberships for all tiers are also now available. And when you select this option, you are rewarded with a free month of membership.
For more details on all of this and specific member tiers, visit Sinisterhood.com and click Patreon on the top banner. And make sure you stick around after our sign-offs to hear your shout-out.
So many of you have been tagging us in pictures of you sporting your sweet Sinisterhood merch. Keep those pictures coming. If you want to get some cool Sinisterhood swag like t-shirts, mugs, totes, and even clothes for your kiddos, visit Sinisterhood.com, click on Shop on the top banner.
The best thing you can do to help us grow is like, review, and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And please tell a friend who you think would like us to check us out. You can also share any episode by clicking the 3 dots in the top right corner, and you can share topic-based playlists from Spotify by visiting sinisterhood.com/playlist. All of this means so much to us and really helps podcasts like us get more exposure.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SinisterhoodPod and like us on Facebook at Sinisterhood. We're also on TikTok and YouTube at Sinisterhood Podcast. Christy, where are you at on the computer?
I am on Twitter and TikTok at Christy or GTFO, and I am on Instagram at Christy M. Wallace. Heather?
I recently tweeted my creation of Judge Dame Judi Dench.
Nice.
On Twitter at MCK versus the World, and then I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Heather versus the World.
As always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy. Thank you so much for supporting the show on Patreon. Here are your special Patreon shout-outs. Sarah Mukadazi,
Alana O'Hara,
Robert Rivera,
Britt,
Carly Rose,
Darcy Hobe,
Becky Domser,
Alyssa Hughes,
Keely Dorman,
Kate Convery,
Katie,
Victoria Gottney,
Olivia Reese, Reese's Pieces,
Maddie Bree,
Kristen Williams,
Catherine Trahan,
Ben Tyson,
Katie Cook,
Box M. Gomez,
Anna,
Reagan,
Nikki Darwin Clark,
Sarah Sarnowski,
Rachel Schmidt,
Jill Busby,
Catherine Stoll,
Jordan,
Kayla Bibber,
Lucy Bishop,
Darius Salchuk,
Connie Dubrow,
Nicholas Belk,
Emma,
Bree Jennings,
Megan Kiefsky,
Diana,
Harry M.,
Katie Barnes,
Michelle Mockey,
Katie Jeppy,
Lex,
Emily Unicorn,
Sarah,
Hadley,
Maggie Gibbs,
Emma Lewis,
Rose H. Fritch,
and Caitlin. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We sincerely appreciate it and could not do this without you. We hope you pronounced your names correctly. We love you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep it creepy.